So there's only one first round match.
Yeah, and that's
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth day of World Judo Championships. On tatami 3, third round, 163 Yayuri everyone from Great Britain, 85 sweet. On tatami 2, in blue for Mongolia, Mo Funheim. 81 from the Republic of China, Yang Shao.
Business Brigadier Thomas Scientific Vigilant, Samuel Riponda, Burundi, Lekimi, Alfred Michael Alizadeh, Jordania.
He's already out there.
Good morning and welcome to Baku for the fourth day of this World Judo Championships. And today we will be covering on tatami 1, the men's under 81 kilos, pool C and D. Well, for the past 3 days, we've been absolutely delighted with the performances of these athletes that they produce some fine judo. And today is going to be no exception. We're up for some very exciting judo coming up very shortly with some very strong opposition, such as Russia of Germany and Pacek of Sweden, and Kamuziev from Russia, and the list goes on and on. So we've got to sit back and enjoy what's coming up in front of us.
Well, good morning, Loretta.
Oh, sorry for that. It's been a long, it feels like it's been a long week. But yes, my Jean Shin is here, thankfully, to keep me right and on the edge of my seat, as always, with pure excitement throughout the day that we have delivered. Hopefully you've enjoyed it for the past 3 days. But here we have our first round.
Alzidanin from Jordan in white, and Quitunda from Burundi in blue.
Well, as we always expect, I think this will be a very even match between these two athletes. And it's interesting, give them obviously the exposure at this world level. Very little to go on with these two athletes. Not been on the world circuit that much.
I think we have our first penalty. Stepping out. No. But we line up at the right place. There we go. Well, not stepping out, but passivity. So at 81, we start to see real power, big power at this weight class.
As you see there, the Jordanian coming over with that Makakomi attempt. He has got a Shido on the board at this moment with just under 3 minutes remaining in the contest. Well, it's not a great start when you start accumulating these Shidos so quickly, and it changes the dynamics of the contest and puts a lot more pressure on the athletes.
Yeah. So they seem to have settled into a pretty well-established pattern already.
Well, it's like a little bit of a settling process, isn't it, really?
It's the only first-round match we're getting this morning.
Yeah.
And
pre-match nerves.
Yep.
And like you say, it's the first match of the round. There's only one fight in the first round. Everyone has swiftly moves through to the second round.
And the second round's going to be very busy. There are 64 judoka in this weight class, and we're going to be covering half of them.
Yes, that's right. And we've got some very exciting matches coming up as the number 2 seed that comes up. Will be coming up very shortly. Dewitt Frank from the Netherlands, an outstanding performer throughout this year and a well-deserved place here in this seeding, which will give him that slight advantage that he would be hoping for. But he'll be up with some very strong opposition in that pool C, and that will be Fujiwara of Japan, who will be is a little bit further down in Pool C. Also, the challenging him will be Diallo of France, who's a brilliant technician, beautiful judo. He's a youngster that's coming through and has performed so well throughout the year. And in Düsseldorf Grand Prix, he took a silver medal. But Chuche he will have in that very, very close, I think, in the third round if he gets through. And this man is silver European champion. So again, he'll be one of the biggest challenges within that particular section. But going down into Pool D, we also have Kalmuziev of Russia. He's one that he's got a really tough first match in the second round, and that's up against Pacek of Sweden, who's had some great performances and won just recently in the Budapest Grand Prix, where he picked up a bronze medal. Well, here you have the Jordanian. He's got 2 Shidos already, and he's got a minute and a half still remaining. It's not looking so good for him at this moment.
The pace really picked up, though, once they both got that Quitonda picked up the first Shido and Alzadini picked up his second. They really started moving around a lot more, trying to open things up. Alzadini is coming in with a strong right-hand grip, and Quitonda he was doing a Kinkayotsu, but now he's switched to his own right-hand grip. So I think he's trying to open things up a bit more. But both these players are clearly very power-oriented. They've got a lot of movement, but not a lot of... They're not moving each other too much.
Alzadini, you were saying about his grips, and yes, his grips is very, very good. He gets the high collar and the drawing the head down, but what makes it even more powerful is that in the elbow positioning, it tucks in towards the shoulder, just inside the armpit, and that makes it very powerful and very controlling. He's not always been managing to get that grip though, but he comes in a little bit deeper this time. But the threat is the hip throw that you can see.
Now see, Quitonda switched off. He went around the back. He's trying to neutralize that grip. But nice move on Alzadini's part. Bringing him down for the Sutemiwaza for the Ippon. And Quitonda knows, well, that's my day.
Well, he'll be delighted to get that one under his belt, because it was really a little bit rocky for him when he picked up the Shidos so earlier on in that contest. But as we know, a settling process going into the first round. You never know how your day's going to go until you get that first match out of the way, and those nerves can then start to settle down and be channeled into a bit more energy and getting the head focused in for the second round. And he'll be watching very closely now to who his next match will be. And
Boltabayev from Uzbekistan.
The Uzbekistan.
That's going to be tough.
That's going to be a very, very tough match indeed. Boltabayev is not one of the athletes that was seeded, but definitely a very competent judo player.
So up next, we're going to go right to the top of the Pool C into the second round, and we'll have Frank de Witt from the Netherlands versus Del Orbe Corto Royal from the Dominican Republic. And I'll probably be saying Dominican Republic. Dominican. Because Del Orbe Corto Royal is...
it's definitely...
By the time I finish saying it, somebody will have thrown somebody.
It's definitely a tongue twister, name. Isn't it? Yeah, there's no doubt. Del Orbe.
Del Orbe.
Del Orbe. Del Orbe.
So Frank de Witt, of course, very powerful player. Second seed in this tournament.
Yes, and rightly so. Last year was really one of the most outstanding years for him, where he picked up a gold medal in the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam, and also he was gold medalist in the Grand Slam in Paris. And he just went on from strength to strength. At the end of last year, was in the Masters Championships, was a bronze medalist. So this man is definitely an opportunity for a place on the podium. He'll have a little bit of a challenge with this Dominican, because he's quite a wiry character. He's very, very strong, and he plays caution to the wind. He really is gutsy enough to have a go out here, but he is outpowered a bit here with the Dutchman.
Frank de Witt is quite a powerful player. But Del Orbe has done a good job of starting to rein de Witt in a bit. De Witt clearly was really, really trying to drive the kumikata, exchange, but Del Orbe's done a good job of slowing that down and keeping him from just dictating where things were going to go. But of course, in the process of doing that, he wasn't launching his own attack, so he picked up his first Shido.
Del Orbe really trying to get over the top, but you can see.
Big
See, that's the little bit of a danger. You cannot sort of relax at all.
No.
DeWitt, just a little bit of relaxation there. He cannot afford to do that. He tries the Sodi, the hand coming across at this moment. That right hand deep over on the back of the jacket, as you can see on the back number. He draws his opponent down. He's not getting as much leverage as home, so his opponent just
I think he's frustrating
very
a little
strong.
bit. Yeah, and so DeWitt has got to. You saw he was trying to play the edge there a little bit, trying to change up the game so that it's not just what technique he's going to be attacking with, but using the mat edge to force Del Orbe to move around a bit.
Well, DeWitt there, as you can see, the left hand on the lapel. He throws that right hand high on the
going
collar.
on the edge there. Now that's forcing a Shido on Del Orbe for a second Shido.
And he picks up the second Shido there. She's right there, and now pressure really on. And one more Shido would result in the hand Sokimaki. DeWitt coming round the back. He has the Ouchigari, which is very dangerous. He takes the left hand on the lapel, he throws that right hand over the top, but this time he's actually gone the opposite side. He's got the left hand deep in the back, that right
hand.
no, so right hand on the back, and then the left hand under the armpit there. So it's a really good, strong kumikata.
Let's see if Del Orbe can get something going on his own here. Right now it's all been reactive. DeWitt has been successful in making Del Orbe react to him. There was that one little Osorogari attack early on, but we haven't really seen anything since.
Once more, that right hand deep over the top.
Oh, a little
The arm.
Ouchigari. Again, Ouchigari. But yeah, DeWitt doing a nice little counter there.
Well, DeWitt has that very strong kumikata. The left hand under the armpit there. He's controlling the movement. He's controlling that arm. He's got the arm around the back.
Oh, what an upset!
My
Holy moly!
me!
Oh, Del Orbe Coterreal throwing DeWitt for the pawn with a beautiful Osorogari. That was astonishing.
That was just one
that
of
came out
the
of nowhere.
biggest upsets of the day.
Oh my gosh,
DeWitt
right
goes-
off the bat.
DeWitt goes out the first round of the World Championships.
It's
the
such a decisive throw.
2 seed. Now, this is devastating for the Dutch team. No doubt about it. It was somebody that we really predicted that could be on that podium. And there, the coach, you can see, is just telling us all the big story. The surprise, the devastation, the
But
disappointment that
on the
was
other
here.
hand, what a tremendous triumph for
An
Del Orbe
amazing
Coterreal.
opportunity.
Incredible.
We said at the beginning that he could be dangerous,
And he
dangerous
was. Look at
he
that.
was.
Beautiful.
Sotogari,
Just don't get any better than that.
beautifully executed. Unbelievable.
And here we thought this was a fairly predictable match, and there you go. And that's one of the terrific things about this sport is that no matter who you are and no matter how strong you are and how good you are, you can get thrown. So you have got to be on your game. You can't just play. So I think DeWitt actually was a little complacent here. He was playing a kind of tactical game. He was finding himself a little frustrated with what he was doing physically, and so he started to play a little tactically instead of continuing to really pressure for his own ippon, and he allowed that space to open up, and Del Orbe Coterreal really capitalized on it.
Well, it definitely did capitalise on it, and good luck for him in the second round. But your heart definitely goes out to Frank DeWitt, who goes out in the first round. But here we have now.
Here we have Toniste from Estonia versus Abrahamian from Uruguay, and Toniste has the Osaikomi for the ippon. Okay. Well, I think we need a little.
Well, again, that was
gotta
a
catch our
very-
breath after that first match.
It was.
Or the last match, I should say. First round. So we're still counting this as the first round?
Yes.
Even though,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, surprise,
bracket sheet,
yes,
it's the
because
second
yeah,
round.
that's it. It was the introduction into the first round, so but it was the first match that Duet went out.
Okay.
And here, Tunset of Estonia goes through to the next round.
Really nice.
Came off
stepping
that
around.
Sienagi,
And
but
then
what a
countered it
reaction
for-
counter.
So he got the Wasabi for that anyway. And then went right into
The Osakomi. Tati
Shiogatame.
Shiogatame.
Beautifully done.
Nice
Well
bit of
done,
judo.
Taniste. Okay, next up, Abdalal from Egypt versus Urquiza Solana from Spain. Abdalal will be in white. Urquiza Solana will be in blue.
Right
Man,
here.
I'm still humming from that.
That was just
row.
well. Do you know what? That's what I love about the sport, because it's and no one can come out here and not be a contender, and that's exactly what we saw. The Dominican Republic
Shimiwaza
young man,
already?
and here we have the Shimiwaza.
Oh, that's deep.
It is on.
That's not going anywhere. Oh my gosh! All he's got to do is continue to cinch that
Abdullah,
in.
they're really
He's-
working on it. He needs to put pressure. Oh, has he let that one slip? Well, my goodness me, you never thought that would happen.
Solana really, really squirmed out of that. That was well done. I can't believe he held that off. But choking Shimiwaza is an amazing technique. You know, if it's
We've
done
seen quite a
correctly,
few,
you
yeah.
go out within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But if you're not right on that spot, it can be surprisingly difficult to put somebody out. Here I was thinking the fourth day might be a little quieter.
Oh no, and it started off with a big bang, hasn't it? Urquiza Solana, they're coming in with the Sienagi. Didn't get in deep enough, but nevertheless, a good attempt there against his opponent. Abdullah Avkar is using with the Koshiguruma attempt. Both very strong kumikatas, using their feet quite nicely as they rotate around the edge of the contest area.
Abdelaal did not pick up a Shido there.
He quickly maneuvered himself, but obviously the coach
Yeah,
and
getting a
the
little
coach giving a
excited.
double
Yep,
thumbs up as
sorry,
if to say,
sorry.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, overstep.
Overexcitement at the early stages of this contest, and yes, you don't blame them. These coaches go through
Ochi.
so many emotions.
Abdelaal with several Ochi in a row.
Kosota,
Urquiza Solana
beautifully
driving
done.
back. Yeah.
Neil, that was a nice move there, and Spaniard is now starting to wake up a little bit here. It started off very slow in the first 2 minutes of this contest, but it's starting to become a little bit more livelier on his feet. Will
No
this make it in?
Shidos, No score. So they've both been working. It's just, yeah, the pace has, though, been a little slower than we've seen in the last couple matches. A little more deliberate.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, poor judgment there from the Spaniard, who came in but left himself a little bit vulnerable there as his opponent stepped across for that Tayatoshi.
And
We'll
he
see
picks
if-
up,
yeah.
and he picks up a Shido, even though he came in
Yes,
on that.
and it was a counter.
And it was countered.
Yes.
So, a little curious as to how that works. Okay.
Unless there was a bit of a sort of a false panic attack because the Egyptian was coming in, but he.
But then it would be a false attack, but she gave him not passivity.
Yes.
But again, that's why we're up here.
There's a Sienagi there, but a nice entry with the lower part of the body. Didn't have the secure grip of the kumikata.
So, Urquiza Solana working from a right-hand stance. Abdelal working from a left-hand stance.
Well, Abdullah
Okay,
there
now-
takes his first Shido, and we're into the last minute of this contest, and it is really a battle of the Kumikata, and there's been one or two sort of flurry of attacks there. Nothing really threatening at this particular moment other than the Niwaza that we saw in the earlier stages. That was a real major threat. Could have been it all over and done with, but sadly it wasn't to be, and 30 seconds left. It looks like this could go to golden score.
So one thing that's interesting to observe is that Urquiza Solana has a slightly more aggressive stance, and he's the one coming in and initiating things, but Abdelal is the one who's ending up finishing the attacks. He's the one coming out better in the exchange. But you see here how Urquiza Solana is the one coming in forward, and Abdelal hangs back a little bit. Oh, and see, and again, Urquiza Solana has the attack, but Abdelal is rather easily keeping it off. But now he's picking up the second Shido for passivity.
He overstretched himself with that Osotogari, which made him very vulnerable indeed.
Yeah.
He tried to switch it to the Tayatoshi, but it was on that switch that it could have been all over for him.
So it'll be interesting to see the direct attack. Okay, there we go.
Did he get it yet?
That's it.
On the
Wazari
button.
right at the bell. Right at the bell.
Goodness me, well, couldn't have timed it any better. Right on the last second.
So what I was hoping to see was exactly what happened, was that the direct attack wasn't working. He had to get Abdelal moving just a little bit and then come in for the attack.
And here we have it. The high collar grip there
got
for
him moving
Abdelal.
around, and then he was able to get the attack. The throw.
And that was the mistake that Abdelal actually made. The high collar grip, but he spun on to the shoulder of the Spaniard. He actually spun into the Cianagi. So brilliant result.
Beautifully played right at the very end there.
Very, very nice match indeed. There was a lot of interesting bits from that to gain. There you have it, the Cianagi. In fact, it was the Siotoshi.
Yes.
Yep, the Siotoshi there.
I agree.
Nicely done.
Okay, up next we have Josh to Andrew from Guam versus Damian Svarnovicki from Poland. Oh, in for the big Kochimaki Komi. Svarnovicki for the Wazari. Nicely done. Right off the bat.
As we know, the Polish are very, very good in their Niwaza transition, and he'll be working his way around to the top parts of the body and looking for the Osakomi.
And it was called, but it was broken.
He just hasn't secured it well enough.
Get up high enough. And if
Andrew,
he could just inch his way through.
Andrew's desperately keeping him at bay.
Oh, there it is.
Foot. But Osakomi has been called.
And he's only got 15 seconds. But he's not really working to get out.
No way he's going to get out of there. No way at all.
Just got it too tight. There we go. Ipon. Svarnovicki from Poland.
Next one coming up will be very interesting, Dean. We'll see a little bit of a highlight of this match. Now, that was a good start.
You'll see that Kochimaki Komi in the beginning. It's really nice.
So here you get the reaction, steps right through the Epon show, but switches him to the rear. Didn't actually get to see the feet as much, whether it was pure upper body control with the shoulder coming in, or did that foot touch the back for the Koichi?
I thought I saw it when it first occurred, but
from that ankle we didn't actually get to see how the feet were working. But nevertheless, it was a wonderful finish and a great start for Poland.
So up now,
Fujiwara here. This is going to be a very interesting match indeed from Japan in the white, and Zulev of Kyrgyzstan in the blue. Well, a lot of Japanese flags are flying here this morning. And making quite a bit of noise, really, as this young man approached the tatami. Nice Kumikata, very strong.
Fujiwara's being very deliberate. He's clearly got a very strong he's got a strong grip. Strong left-hand side to Zalev's also left hand. But Zalev's so bent over that Fujiwara's having difficulty really getting something. There we go, Kochigari.
Nicely done.
Nice response by Zalev.
Zalev really looking a little bit apprehensive, is slightly nervous out there.
Well, he's certainly much more defensive
His
in the
body
tie.
language is intense, really, which is making him very rigid, and he's not reacting as what we would have hoped to see him do. But he's obviously very concerned with that sleeve grip.
Taitoshi,
Beautiful Taitoshi. The Kochigari to the rear. Good combination of techniques that we've seen quite a lot, especially yesterday.
And so
that
smooth.
combination.
Just putting them together.
Kochigaris, Ochigaris are really good techniques for setting up the big technique.
I think
that comes
Fujiwara's
through.
just waiting to see how he can get Zalev to move a
Well,
little bit. And I bet we'll see a big Sewanage.
Yes, he's trying to set him up. You can get
Yeah.
that sense there. He's given him a little bit of showing that leg, tempting him with the Oso Tagari,
Right.
waiting for the counter.
Waiting for him to come in. So that's drawing the opponent in by offering a target. Oh, there we go.
The Ippon Sianagi,
Ippon.
beautiful finish. Only a Wazari, but from this
Yeah.
angle it was looking as if it was going for Ippon.
I thought more like Haramaki Komi. He does have the Sewanage, but he brought his
No.
leg through and it's winding. Anyway,
Yeah.
big throw.
Big throw.
That's so one thing that happens, of course, in these throws is that we begin with the classical throws, but as you get to play, and particularly at this level, you have to improvise and you have to
Yes.
build
There we
things
have-
as they were.
Well,
so
that looked like the actual
it was
elbow
an
went
Ippon
through
Sewanage.
for the Morote.
Yeah.
It looked like it was more Morote Sianagi that he caught in there. So, but again,
And then he brought his leg past the outside leg
Yeah.
and wound sideways. So
very, very, very powerful young man, and I'm quite sure we're going to see him quite a lot today.
yep. So he's at the top of his half of Pool C, Fujiwara. And up next, we have Gardashevich from Montenegro versus Jalo from France. Oh, and then we see the replay again. So here we have this. He does have the Marote grip and driving him through. Oh, this is the second throw. So he did pretty much the same approach in both throws. And now we're going to see that knee coming through for that down for this Morote Sewanage, but then driving up again to continue and complete the rotation to expose the back. Gardashevich from Montenegro in white. Jalo in blue from France. Montenegro, Gardashevich trying to take a strong right-hand stance. Getting way over the back, pulling Jalo in, going for Sumigaish. But Jalo just not allowing the kind of draw down, compromising his posture that will allow him, Gardashevich, to finish. Jalo really powerfully driving for that first kochi, then the ochigari. I think Gardashevich has a bit of a reach advantage, but Jalo is really working inside really well. Even though Gardashevich has been able to come over the back, Jalo is staying on the inside and then working those things like the kochi and the ochi. Gardashevich trying to dislodge Jalo's grip on his collar, but just not able to do it. Coming in for that Uchimata from the outside, but both players doing these lower level. Oh, nice! Nice big Koshi Guruma. Jalo had gotten over the top and then brings him, actually Tsuregoshi for Tsurugoshi. Thought he brought his arm all the way around the head, but he had kept his grip on the back, drawing it up, and then bringing his hip in for the lift. So, Wazari for Jalo, with just about 2 minutes left in the contest. Gardashevich now having to play the catch-up game, which is always a bad position to be in. Jalo playing a bit more relaxed, but still very powerfully working to get his own position and own grip. But still, see how he's backing up. Oh, nice Gardashevich trying to do that external Ashiwaza. But Jalo really sidestepping it neatly. Now going in for Newaza, because he knows that all the time that he can eat up here is just to his benefit. Whether he gets he'll look like he's working for the Jujigatame. But not making enough progress, so ate up about 10, 12 seconds there. Jalo very comfortable. He's in a really comfortable spot at the moment. 1:15 left in the match. Gardashevich again coming in. Oh, nice! And Jalo doing a really, really good lift. For a very, very abrupt Ogoshi. Or Utsurigoshi maybe even. We'll have to see if he actually switches the hip. Very decisive Ippon right there. So, nice match by Jalo. Good. Nice. Very tremendous sportsmanship. Looking your opponent right in the eye as you bow and say thank you. So, pops him up. Let's see, he pops him up a little bit. Yeah, he kind of popped him up forward and then brought his hip through for the Utsurigoshi. Nice little counter from Gardashevich's initial attack. And then see how he slips his hip through and then brings it down. And Gardashevich really trying not to turn and just taking that fall right on his shoulder. So I think it was a Wazari for the Wazari Awasete Ippon. Okay, up next. Sami Kuchi from Belgium versus Sasha Denanyo from Togo. Chuchi immediately working a lot of Newaza here at the very beginning of the match. And giving Denanyo a chance to really crawl on top, but Chuchi succeeds in turning him. Okay, he's really working towards trying to get this, but not enough progress being made. Denanyo had locked up that leg pretty hard. Denanyo looking like, I didn't like that opening. I have to change it up. Oh, that's interesting. Now, Denanyo, we talked a little bit yesterday about how Bouchard was, or I guess it was the day before. Bouchard, Uchimata from the knees. Denanyo just is just giving Chuchi a lot of opportunities to get the things that he wants to do. Denanyo's going to have to switch it up and get the things going that he would like. Anyway, looking at Denanyo's gripping, something that we saw with Bouchard's play the other day was she would grab her own collar in the kumikata exchange and make it kind of difficult for her opponents to really get a grip. See, and so there you've got Denanyo doing similar things, and big Uchimata by Chuchi. Stepping out. I guess mate had been called just before the throw, so that throw won't count, even though it was a big, beautiful throw, and Denanyo gets penalized for stepping out. And we saw the referee. Oh, big Shimewaza by Chuchi. Denanyo had just left his chin up and immediately just slips it in, gets hits the leg over, and Denanyo taps. So you can see how Denanyo is clearly disappointed, but a great match for Chuchi from Belgium, who will advance to the next round. See how he's popping him up, getting it under his chin, bringing the leg across, hooking the leg. Just clinical, nice clinical shimewaza here. A beautiful example of kata tejime. All right, and close to the variation of jugoku jime. Up next, we have Nai Richachi from China versus Gulduren from Turkey. Ilker Gulduren. Nai in white, Gulduren in blue. Oh, we've got a strong Turkish contingent here. And really coming in across. Nai is really doing a great job of keeping Gulduren from completing the kinds of attacks that he's launching. Referee, grabbing the leg. Gulduren grabbed the leg. Now, it's important to remember that grabbing the leg is of course a Shido, but it's also an offense that if you do two of them, you are out. So, if Gulduren grabs the leg again while they're in Tachiwaza situation, standing technique situation, he will lose this match. That will be a Hansakumake. So, Nai taking the match to Gulduren. Beautiful! Oh! And doing a big Uranage, bringing Gulduren around, but losing control at the very end. And you could see how Gulduren really posted out and kept Nai from finishing. Nai continuing to take the match to Gulduren, who just launches into a big Tayatoshi, but Nai easily stops it. Now going back into taking Gulduren's back, working on some Shimewaza maybe. But Gulduren is clearly a very powerful player, and it's hard to open people up. I think we just saw a signal from the referee. It's like, try some Sewanage. Gulduren in for the big Makikomi. And Nai taking his back again. Nai clearly really favors his Newaza. See how Nai is bringing the match to Gulduren, really grabbing. I'm kind of surprised that, well, Gulduren has been attacking. That's the only thing that's been saving him from getting, he's doing these attacks. So actually, Nai might be in trouble for not, passivity right there. Even though he's the one been bringing it to Gulduren. Gulduren's the one who initiates the initial throw, so it's been initiating a throw, so Nai doesn't get credit. So even though Nai is the one really, I think, who has the technical edge in this. Ooh, Osekomi! Nai made a big mistake there. Really made a mistake. Oh, and Gulduren is, but Nai is locking up the leg. Osekomi! No score, just short of getting a score. Really, really lucky. That was a mistake. Up to this point, Nai has had the technical edge and definitely the momentum in the match, even though Gulduren is the one who's been initiating those attacks as they've been coming in. But Nai making a serious error there that he was really lucky to avoid getting scored on. Oh, and that's it. Oh, he kept letting Nai, he was bringing the match to Gulduren, but Nai just kept allowing Gulduren to launch those attacks as he was coming in, and Gulduren finally was able to execute and bring Nai down for this Koshi Guruma, I think that was Koshi Guruma. He was reaching around the head, Koshi Makikomi kind of situation for the Ippon. See that on the replay. So, coming in, yeah, initially, so you can see how he's blocking that leg, keeping Nai from being able to step around, and then really drawing the arm around his body for the Maki Komi. And I think if we see up top, oh, he kept the hand on the collar. Okay, so really more like just a Harai Maki Komi, throw. Oh, good match by Guldren. Next up, we have one of the third seed, one of the most anticipated players, current Olympic champion, Kalmuzayev from Russia versus Pacek from Sweden. This is going to be a tough match. Pacek is an extremely dangerous player. And Kalmuzayev, of course, is the current Olympic champion. He also is undefeated against the top 8 seeds in this weight class. So I think has a real possibility of being on top of that podium at the end of the day. But he's got to get past Pacek first. Okay, Pacek picking up a Shido in the first 40 seconds of the match. As he knows that Kalmuzayev is quite capable of throwing him if he's gives him a half a chance. So, but you've got to work positively. Kalmuzayev with a strong left-hand posture, left-hand grip. You can see how Pacek is really holding him out. Ooh, Chivana entry. Coming in and then getting Pacek to step aside and then threatening from the outside. Kalmuzayev is definitely driving this match. Pacek is really, it's not quite awake yet. He's coming in. See how Kalmuzayev is really controlling that whole left side. Not only up on the collar, but he's got his elbow really breaking Pacek down. Oh! Pacek trying to do a Sasai, I think, but I'm a little surprised. I thought Kalmuzayev took control away. Pacek is really lucky that wasn't a score. Wasn't quite demonstrated enough on Kalmurzayev's part. Oh, in for his own Sasai. Kalmurzayev really blocking that down, using his head to hold Pacek to the outside. Ooh, they accidentally popped each other's fists. They said, oh, okay, sorry. Nice little exchange right there in the middle. I think Pacek's going to pick up. Oh, okay, Kalmurzayev. Both players picking up a Shido. 2 for Pacek, 1 for Kalmurzayev. Pacek's now in a bad situation. 1 more Shido and he's out. Kalmurzayev still has that strong left hand, really dominating. Now he's bringing, oh! He had switched his head to the other side and brought Pacek more to his left, more to Kalmurzayev's left, and that's what allowed him to come in for that nice Uchimata, really big lift. But he didn't quite have the right hand, so he couldn't finish, and you saw how Pacek was able to put his own left hand down and keep the rotation from completing. That was close.
Well, what we said earlier on, this was always going to be a very challenging match. Pacek has had a brilliant year so far and has grown throughout his performances. And so this is no big surprise for me here, how he's been able to work this contest.
But it's been, and that's true. But he's been outmatched by Kalmurzayev at this point.
Uchimata.
It's just been going all Kalmurzayev's way. I mean, but as you can see, you're right. He's not, he's stopping what Kalmurzayev's doing, but Pacek has not really launched his own attack up to this point. He's just barely hanging on. I think Kalmurzayev really came ready. He knew that Pacek was going to be tough, so he is coming from the first match, really, really driving.
Well, Kalmurzayev is, at this moment, the reigning bronze medalist in the world. But Pacek, bronze medal in, where was it? It was in Budapest, a third in Budapest, and European. medal. For me, someone who actually is hitting form, possibly could have timed this well, but 35 seconds. I know what you're saying about coming in and he looks like he's dominant, but as we saw earlier on in the first exchange we had, DeWitt is out of the tournament.
DeWitt is out.
And again, a very strong athlete, so anything's possible. But for Pacek, he is a contender out here. There's no doubt about it. He has the ability to beat this man if he gets the opportunity. Kosota.
Nice.
And the timing
with 12 seconds left.
Timing perfect. Timing absolutely perfect here. 11 seconds to go. Pacek, for me, is sadly, he's not going to get that opportunity to come back, not against a very experienced man.
So that's a great point to bring up, that DeWitt. What you could see the difference between him and Kamarzaev is Kamarzaev has been completely focused. He is not complacent at all coming into this match. He didn't start playing tactically. He didn't, let up his pressure. So Kamarzaev came in ready, whereas I think DeWitt wasn't quite.
Well, it's a good win for Kamarzaev. For me, he is obviously one of the top seeds. There is pressure. It is the second round, but we say second round, but it's the first match for these athletes.
Right.
And it is always a bit of a slow process, and he has been up against a very competent, and he'll know it. He's gave him a lot of respect. Maybe he gave him a little bit too much respect, hence the reason he didn't get the score earlier on.
So, great match for Kamarzaev. Had a very strong match for Pacek. Gave him a great fight.
Was brilliant. He was good. A good win. Unfortunate, a very, very tough first match for both these athletes.
Well, I think, so up next we have Ngozeo Moyo from Cameroon versus Didar Kamza from Kazakhstan.
Well, there's been some really exciting matches throughout the day so far. You would think we've been here for hours. It feels like it's been so much going on, and already the stadium is starting to fill up and the atmosphere is growing as the hours go on.
Ngozeo Moyo in white from Cameroon, Kamza in blue.
Ngozeo Moyo, as we've seen with the Cameroons and a few of the African countries, very strong, very fit athletes, but makes them very dangerous. Very dangerous. Kamza taking a little bit of time here. He's got a good controlling grip. Now he tries to come over the top, round the back, trying to set it up. You can see that footwork moving nicely with working with the ashiwazas to try and break it up, creating a gap there, an opening for himself. You can see he's very cautious and looking not to attack at the wrong point, because I keep going back to saying DeWitt. It can happen, and I think this is going to plague a lot of the athletes going, my goodness, I never expected that. So everybody's going to be a little bit on tenterhooks here, making sure they don't make the same mistake DeWitt did.
Ngozeo penalized for defensiveness, adopting to Chigotaya posture. Kamza doing these little hops, and but I think he's not drawing the reaction that he wants from Moyo.
And I don't think you're really going to get, because when they lack that experience, they lack that sort of real understanding of feel in judo. A real sort of a competitive athlete will react feeling danger, but he'll not have that dangerous feel.
Second Shido.
So he's not reacting well.
Really selling the, one thing I talk about in my own teaching is that, combinations are best when each attack in the combination is genuine. If you don't really try to attack the first time, you're not going to get a reaction. And so Kamza's first movement isn't very convincing either.
I think sometimes you can react, but using your upper body and head motions and that can give you that edge, because without completely committing to the first attempt of whatever could it be, like the combination, but just action to get a reaction. And that maybe has to be much more convincing, the head, the hands, the shoulder, without actually committing to a technique as such. So 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining in this contest. It's been very interesting, the dynamics between these two. Here you have the Cameroon obviously is a little bit out of his depth and has been very, very defensive. Sadly, you would hope that instead of being defensive, it really is
come out and just
to go out
just
and
go.
Be gutsy enough to say, I could really upset the odds here.
Fixing back, okay.
And I think he knows.
Holding on one side. So a different penalty. Because you can hold on one side.
As long as you use it.
But you have to use it. You can't just hang out there. So, our first match of the day where it's decided by Shidos. That's pretty good that we've gotten through many matches without having that kind of result. So, Kamza from Kazakhstan will be the next to face Komrazaev in the third round. Victor Penalba from Brazil versus Atraf Muti from Morocco. Penalba will be in white, Muti in blue. Muti taking a very aggressive right hand attack. Penalba a bit more quiet, left side. So we end up in this Kinkayotsu situation where both players are protecting a hip while trying to get that far grip, and Penalba coming in with the outside a little bit, trying to get Muti a little off balance.
Just trying to break him up a little bit, take that front leg back so he could step across possibly for the...
Muti in for larger Uchimaras. Penalba playing the edge a little bit. Muti reaching in with a very tentative inside reach with the leg, and Penalba really capitalizing for the Ushiro Sutemiwaza for the Wazari. Penalba's picked up the Wazari.
Muti throwing that arm over the top there. Leaves himself wide open. Penalba coming in for the Sianagi.
Muti's really, I think,
he's leaving himself a little bit wide open at the moment. When he throws that arm over, he doesn't really connect.
And he's not using it. He's
got to connect. He's got to bring these. This time he's gone back to coming in the inside with the lapel. He really is a little bit apprehensive here on which way he's going to go. He doesn't seem to have that as much of a game plan.
No, whereas Penalba clearly
he's just trying to get in, and he's reacting off his opponent's forcefulness out there.
But
Penalba there coming back with the counter. Kosota scoring a Wazari Aseti upon. So that was a good win there. Muti really he didn't really have a game plan. He was just reacting.
And Penalba just had this very quiet, very stable way of setting himself, forcing Muti to try things that weren't really set, weren't really solid, and Penalba is then able to capitalize on each one of these openings. We're making Muti come in and open things up.
Well, Penalba takes that win, goes to the next round, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on a little bit later on. But there's some highlights of this contest. But some nice movement there, some really nice attacks, beautiful finishes.
Yeah, really quiet, smaller movement judo, but nonetheless very effective.
By Chen Zalani.
So really neat diversity in approaches and attacks from one match to the next. Of course, just because a player plays that particular way in one match doesn't mean that they're going to play that way against another match.
No,
I don't think that
definitely.
kind of strategy is going to work against Khamrazaev, because Khamrazaev is not going to be drawn into making mistakes.
No, definitely not. He's a very experienced athlete, and I think, to be honest, that first round was a bit of a warm-up for him, and we're going to see it a little bit different in the second round. Baltaboyev here from Uzbekistan in the white has got to be obviously the stronger of the two coming through into the next round. On paper here, he's, for me, got the ability to get right through to quarterfinal stages, but it's like anything, it is very
But
open.
we saw a pretty good upset.
Definitely, and
was the-
this is a competition that is definitely up for opportunities
Can't
here.
assume anything.
You see the fairy tales happen in front of our eyes. That's the most important thing. You can never write someone up off, and the most
Klimke,
important thing is that
knocking
you
out.
actually respect your opponent.
Yeah.
And because they're here in their own right as a contender, and
Klimke
no one
beating
comes
Silva
out.
in the first round.
No one comes out here to walk away in the first round. No one comes away here to lose. Everyone comes out as wanting to be a winner.
So we saw Alzi Danin. He was the very first match that we saw today. He was the one. Being kind of quiet himself, but let's see how he does against Baltaboyev. Baltaboyev really working him towards the edge, really forcing Alzi, but letting him up a little bit.
Well, I don't think he was challenged too much, the Jordanian, in his first match, but definitely is going to be challenged in this
Baltaboyev.
match. Altaboyev there,
Both players.
both of them going to pick up a Judo.
For defensiveness, defensive Jigotai posture.
Altaboyev there with the left hand on the lapel, controlling nicely, comes in for the Kochigari.
Oh,
Steps
Tayatoshi.
across for that Tayatoshi.
That was so quick. Really, really slick. Didn't quite have the Kazushi though, so Alzi Danin was able to sprawl out.
And he works away there in the Niwaza, looking for an opportunity to punish his opponent down in the ground. And obviously the referee just felt that there was very little on offer, and rather than spending
moving a lot.
lot of valuable seconds down there, calls the mate.
I think Baltaboyev is the one who looks really, really composed here. I think Alzi Danin is the one who's being presented with a real difficult puzzle.
Sasai attempt there from the Jordanian. He looks very, very strong, this man, but he's not making much of an impact on Baltaboyev, who's very powerful in the kumikata. He's got that left hand on the lapel. He controls very nicely with the traditional lapel and sleeve grip.
His
Posture's
upright,
upright. He's very grounded into
And
the
yet he
tummy.
looks very
and he
settled.
flows.
Yeah.
He flows quite nicely. He's very relaxed in his movements and the hip movements, leaving himself some variety of opportunities here. And as you can see with the Kochi, again, the upper body control draws his opponent down into the Niwaza. But this time he's opting not
Alzi
to sort
Danin,
of
I think,
venture
is gonna
down there.
Pick up another Shido here for false attack. He just dropped out of that. Baltaboyev is clearly drawing him in, and Alzi Danin just dropped down.
Well, as they wait to tidy up their gi, Baltaboyev, you can see, very much in the zone.
Yeah,
Never takes his eyes off his opponent.
he's ready to go no matter what it is. Hajime, nope, false attack. So,
And the third and final Shido goes to Aldazine and out of the tournament. And Baltaboyev go through to the next round.
where he will face a much tougher match his next one, Penalba.
Penalba, that will be a very interesting match because the dynamics, so where that was a little bit more of a slower pace, more precise and controlled, and a lot of strong kumikata. I think the Brazilian will shake that up a little bit.
And
he'll open it up, he'll be much more explosive. And
the
I think
experience levels between those two is much more equal between
Yes.
Baltaboyev and Penalba. Whereas Alzi Danin just didn't have the experience level to bring to the match. Russell from Germany versus Peter from Czech Republic.
Yes, Russell, for me, has had a great performance throughout this year, a good build-up towards this World Championships, but so has Petr. For me, both these athletes, this was when we were analysing the actual draw earlier on. There was actually two matches that we looked at that we said that were going to be very, very tough first round matches, and that was Kalamuzev from Russia with Pacek, which we saw with the Sweden, and this one, Germany versus the Czech Republic. And again, two very strong athletes battling away into the next round.
So one thing, again, it's so interesting how, we sometimes get these matches where you get such similar physical types. They're both, really, really well matched in terms of height. I think Peter has a little tiny bit of an advantage, but otherwise, these guys have the longer limbs for the weight class, and whereas we've seen some of the other players in this weight class are much more compact. So there's more variation in terms of just physiology in this weight class than I think we saw yesterday. But it's funny how sometimes they just match up first round, or first match anyway.
Well, Russell
really bringing it to Peter.
So gold medalist in Zagreb, and also picked up two very, very good medals, Düsseldorf Grand Prix bronze, and in The Hague a bronze medal. So he's built up towards this World Championships, and his confidence in entering this event has got to be on a high. And we have Pacek, we have obviously Petr. Again, it's someone that has been understated and has been under the radar for me. He has shown glimmers of being such a good competitor, and when he gets the opportunity, takes full advantage of it. So here he has, you can see just that one moment, a bit of a glimmer, but you have Russell here with the grips, and this is what's dominating it right at the moment. He's taken a bit more control of the pace of this contest right now, the German is, and has obviously given him the lead, but it is all about the Kumikata right now.
So I wish we could have seen what the referee just gave that Shido for. But Peter now has two Shidos, even though he's been the one really coming in and really driving things. But Russell is unflappable, no matter how much, movement Peter is bringing to this. Russell is staying inside and really controlling the Kumikata. Peter's reaching in, but, Russell's just really good at slipping that and then getting his own grip, and then actually driving the movement.
I think when you really look at it, Petr he's working hard, but he's working hard at what?
Yeah.
He's actually not connecting. He looks busy. The arms are all over the place.
Sound and
the
fury.
legs, he's coming forward. He's actually trying to get in, but really, he's actually struggling.
He's bouncing off of
He's
Russell.
struggling. Russell is in there. He's got
Look
good,
at that.
strong
See, that big
Kumikata.
movement, but Russell is just brushes him aside.
He's just powering him. He's not. There's a different pace. There's someone that's going 10 miles an hour, and there's another one that's doing 20, 30 miles an hour. But the one that's doing 20, 30 miles, he's just trying to catch up. He's trying to get back in. He's really under a little bit of pressure.
And you can see how it's reflected in what's up on the scoreboard.
Yes.
Russell has no penalties because his movement has actually been more effective than Peter's. So we'll see how this. Third Shido for grabbing fingers, I think.
So Russell goes through to the next
So all
round.
of that movement it didn't avail him at all.
No, it was, sadly to say, without being rude, he was being very busy doing nothing. And that's really what it was. There was a lot of movement that was looking as if he was engaging, but he was really struggling to make an impact in this
I think
contest.
struggling is kind of the, and Petr just...
With the strong grips, when we look at the highlight, the strong Kumikata. Oh, what a little sweetie that one is.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
The future champion in the making. Eyes glued to the competition.
Up now we have Morales from Argentina in white versus Kaswanga from Zambia in blue. Okay.
Well, holding both sides of the key, obviously. Kazwanga, not a great start in
Not
the
a
opening
great start.
seconds of this contest. Puts him, well, I think he's going to be, I'm going to say puts him under a little bit of pressure, but I think he's already on a lot of pressure right now as he entered in this competition. He's a little bit apprehensive, quite nervous, obviously. We see some of these kind of, the Zambians, they don't have as much exposure as what you have with the Argentinians and a lot of the athletes that are participating here. So, but he's given a good account of himself. He's trying his hardest out here to make a real impression against his opponent.
And Morales picking up a similar Shido for holding on to the cuff without attacking. Oh, but in for a big Suwanage.
Nice deep attack there. Goes into the Niwaza, and Kazwanga trying to look for an opportunity, but I think it was just more of a reaction than that. Could you see something?
Yeah, it wasn't really driving.
On tatami 2, the second round tournament is 63 kilogram. In blue for Mongolia.
So Koswanga again getting that cross grip. Okay, got pulled off there. Morales pulled it off. Oh!
Uchimata just left the supporting leg a little bit too deep out.
He didn't have the other hand.
Just wasn't in deep enough. That was the most important thing that we needed. The lift was there, but he didn't get the finish.
Koswanga's going to have to get an attack going here.
Oh, Morochi Sianagi, beautifully executed. Just didn't get it once more. Didn't just get that finishing flair to it. The final
was all going
touch.
down, didn't come up. But anyway, he's got a couple of good attacks coming in here, Morales.
It looks like he's sort of building up to something.
And Koswanga really likes this cross grip, and that was the first time he'd actually come in with it once he had it. Up to this point, he hasn't really been able to use it.
We're now to the halfway mark, and a Shido apiece at this moment.
2 minutes, yeah.
The Argentinians sort of looking to be edging in front at this moment. But as we know, it's still early doors and anything could happen.
Trying for the Kochi. Oh, stepping across, but no Kozushi. So Morales able to break it down. Oh, in for the Kataguruma, but Koswanga sprawling and shutting it down. Pace definitely picked up the second half of the match. Both players finding, I think, the gaps in their opponents' posture and timing. Starting to try and get in there. Oh!
It was a bit of an Uchimata, but into a Makakomi there, but he just lost a little bit of control. But
didn't have his hands.
Needed a little bit of a better setup into that attack. Sianagi, though, that was
better.
nicely done. That was a little bit more threatening there.
Morales had to brace way out. But, you know, it's interesting. I think in this match, what we're seeing is, though, I think the experience level that these players bring, we're just not seeing the kind of really serious threat. They're both coming in, they're getting some entries, they're getting some attacks going, and even getting some elevation, but we're not seeing the kind of real threat that we see in some of the other players where, it's like, oh, that's really has a lot of potential. I'm just not seeing that in these two.
I think what we're looking at here with the Argentinian is that he has actually got some nice judo, and that Sianagi is very threatening, but what the major threat for Morales is the Zambian is very fit. He's very fit, he's got a big heart, he's determined to have a good performance here, which makes him very dangerous. And as this match continues and goes on, the Argentinian just seems to he's losing his conditioning. He's not as precise, which he's making minor mistakes, but having a minor mistake, then Kazwanga can most probably capitalize on that if it goes any longer.
Both players with 2 Shidos now, 12 seconds left in the match. And so...
Well, you see there, the drop to the ground.
Yep.
Kazwanga there was straight in. He's really at him. He's going for it. As these minutes are going on, he's building up in confidence. He's now starting to believe in himself. He's capable of getting through to the next round. So there seems to be a little bit of a change on how these athletes have acted from where we saw him at the beginning, where we could have said this could have been all over and done with Morales having the better judo and more experience. Now, this could go anyway. Because this is 2 Shidos now.
2 Shidos.
One more mistake from either one of them. That's out. Morales with a high collar grip, as you can see. He's edging on the side, and there Kazwanga goes to the edge of the mat, steps out, and that is the mistake. The lack of experience that he has, and it's cost him the match.
Right, and Morales.
And they've let it go.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad they've let it go.
Yeah, let's see if it works. Let's see if they can get a positive result here.
But there was a drop.
That might be a drop. No, okay. They really want somebody to throw somebody.
Well, at the moment, we're just waiting to see the most negative. But you know what? There could be a real positive. He could just fire in with a technique and just catch him.
Oh, and there it is. Yes. Thank you. Very good.
That was just said it in time.
Big.
Just said it in time. We were looking, because of the Shido.
Yeah.
We were looking to see the last and final Shido.
And they did it.
And
showed us that he
at
could
the
do
end
it.
of the day, Morales came
nice.
through with a Uchimata to finish it. Nice. It's a much nicer end.
Way better way to finish.
A very good feel situation.
Morales. Tomas Morales from Argentina.
That was
For the
a
Ippon with 35
feel-good
seconds of the
situation
golden
there.
score.
Nice as he goes through and to build up the confidence. But he'll be up against Ressel of Germany, so that's going to be a
That's
very
gonna be a
challenging
different
match. Now, coming up very shortly, and we'll be seeing the highlights of that throw very shortly, but we have Ungavari, Antilla, Hungary, and Muki. And this was another match that we highlighted to say was a bit of a horrible one. It was going to be a real match. This, whoever comes up next on them, it's a real challenge.
So Morales for the victory. Let's see if we can get a real quick shot of this. Beautiful Uchimata. Beautiful. Just so vertical. In. Just driving up. Beautiful, beautiful Uchimata. You see he's going to step across and then bring that leg straight through and up. And here we have Ungwari in white from Hungary versus
And
Muki.
Muki, European champion this year in Tashkent. Last year, a gold medalist in the Grand Slam in Baku. He's picked up back in 2014, was gold medalist in Baku. So it'll be a very nice place for him with some very good memories. But he's up against Ungavari, who's a very strong opponent. This is a very horrible match for both these athletes.
To have so
not
early
an
on.
easy ride through to the next round for either one of them. They are going to be definitely challenged here.
So if you're thinking that, if you were with us yesterday and you're thinking that, hey, didn't I see Ungwari
yes,
yesterday?
exactly.
That guy looks exactly like, the reason he looks the same is because this is his brother.
Yes.
So, and as you can see, not only do they have, both Ungwari, of course, but they have very similar styles. Their posture is identical. Their haircuts are even the same.
Yes.
So, clearly they have a family approach to judo. Now, I think this Ungwari is a little less, he's not as dynamic in his movement as his smaller brother was. But there he goes for a very sharp Tomorage. Didn't get the score, but does draw the first Shido for Muki.
And Miklos was the brother that fought yesterday, and he had a very
great
good
day.
performance, a really good performance. But like what we were saying, it was a very tough day
Oh my
at the
gosh,
office,
that was
wasn't
a
it?
tough
There was
weight class.
such a lot of strong competition for that world title yesterday. And Tila here, very strong upright posture. Muki, current European champion, trying to battle away the defences and the kumikata, strong kumikata of Ungavari.
2 Shidos now for Muki.
And he'll be slightly frustrated with this.
Yeah.
Now, this would be really a big
Now he's coming
upset
in.
for Muki to go out in the second round, but obviously it's his first match.
So if he can find a way to get past this very aggressive defense that Ungwari has.
Tried to work him on the edge there. Ungavari tried to pile the pressure on. Muki was really looking for an opportunity there, but Ungavari did extremely well to avoid what looked to be a very tricky situation to get out of.
Okay, Muki getting the grip in. He's definitely getting better. He's getting that collar. And Guari's really, really trying to keep him from... Okay, so Muki really getting in for his first big attack. But he didn't quite have the control, but that at least means that he's not about to be called for passivity. Just because he's having trouble getting past Ungwari's kumikata defense. Oh! Really good elevation by Muki. With a sore tsurikomigoshi. And Ungwari now being called for a second Shido. So both players.
Well, we knew it was going to be a very, very tough match between these two. It's so evenly set up, and sadly one of them will have to exit this competition so early on in the stages.
Ungwari down for trying to get, I think, a Sasai going, but Muki just shut it down really hard. Muki in for Uchimata a little bit.
Well, as you can see, Ungwari
around the
really
back.
taking off Muki's grips, and now trying to play the little bit of the referee there.
Yeah, look at the ref and be indignant.
Yes.
Which we saw.
Ungwari really is trying to go and take this on a practical, in the sort of tactical side.
Oh my gosh!
Now Ungwari, that was dangerous. And he's left himself open.
Oh,
and
that
it's
is
there.
Deep. Ew. Does he have it?
Overstretched
Oh my
himself.
gosh.
Yes, it's there.
It is so
it's
deep.
On.
Oh.
It's a matter of time.
If he can get that shoulder back, pull this right shoulder back.
Ungwari
He's really,
knows
really
he's
trying
got
it.
seconds, but can he hold on? That's the problem. Can he hold on?
If he can just get Ungwari. Oh, he let it go. Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, Ungwari made it the ultimate mistake there. He overstretched himself for that Koichigari.
Oh,
when he lost his
Muki
balance,
just shut it down
the head
so
came
hard.
up, and
Yeah.
Muki was right in there in the transition for the shimiwaza. That was some very nice
That was
judo.
sharp, right. And I actually think if Ungwari almost on anybody else, that Koichi might have been effective, but Muki was just so solid, and he stopped it cold.
But it just shows you the strength and mental strength as well of Ungwari, knowing that was on. That shimiwaza was there.
Yeah, it was there, and he fought
Anybody
it.
else, it most probably would have been all over and done with by
Yeah,
now.
but he really locked it out. Okay, but I think that really shook Ungwari up. Muki now has got his grip. Ungwari's just not quite as aggressive. Now he's shifted it up again.
Well, the danger that both of these have at this moment is 2 Shidos apiece. One more would result in a hand sokimaki. Neither one of them can step their foot off the pedal.
Oh, and there it is! And Muki changing it up, not trying to get both hands grip, coming in with a one-handed grip for this big Soromaki komi. Beautiful, beautifully done.
Well, nice finish once again.
Muki for the Ippon. Really showing. So that match, you know, the potential for completion and the potential for the big throw, that's what I was saying was missing in that other. See, look at that. Sore. Big sore. Oh, man.
Nicely controlled as he goes down, finishing it for a pawn. On the one hand.
One-handed sore to the Kamikoshi.
Just shows the positioning
gorgeous.
and control as he went over with these corners.
Just so
to
beautiful.
be able to keep him
and
in
he
position.
brought his torso in really gorgeously. He even stepped and blocked the leg out. Just showing complete control over across the entire body.
Nice finish. Now we have Jack Hutton of the USA in the white, and he's up against Gandia of Puerto Rico.
So we were talking earlier about people coming to the Worlds and fighting somebody, you know, from right next door. And here we have USA playing Puerto Rico. Okay. Hatton trying to bring Gandia around but Gandia just not allowing any kind of Kazushi going.
Well, Hatton at the beginning of the year had some very good successes, especially in the Antalya Grand Prix, where he picked up a silver medal. This was a really good result, and showing the potential this young man has.
So Hatton is the one who's really driving all of the kumikata. Gandia has not gotten an attack yet.
Well, he's looking there to transition into the Niwaza, but obviously...
And then Gandia attacked first, but then he lost it and hadn't responded. Gandia's got to step it up.
Nice grip,
See that?
high collar grip, but
you know,
quickly
he's really
dismissed
shutting down
from
Hatton,
Gandia.
but there's a tiny little attack.
Now there's very strong grip for the Puerto Rican. As you can see, the left hand controlling quite nicely, and that was what blocked the attack of Hatton, but he's been a little bit too defensive, and from that picks up that first Shido.
And a white for Austria,
So let's see if he picks it up at all. Hatton in for a little Uchimata. Oh, Hatton trying to take the roll.
Attempt of a tie toss. He left himself a little bit vulnerable there on the opposite side.
Gandia really likes his newaza. He was trying to get in for a shimiwaza there.
Digging in deep there, but from this angle, there doesn't seem to be very much on offer.
No, not really. The referee might be getting some direction. Grabbing the leg.
Well, that was something we didn't see.
So as I was saying earlier, well, it wouldn't make any difference in this case anyway. He's got two Shidos, but a second leg grab is disqualifies you.
Well, from this position, any
Shido
more Shido now will disqualify him. And I'm sure he'll be disappointed to go out on a Hansokimaki, but there doesn't seem to be much reaction considering he's two Shidos down at this moment. Hatton piling on the pressure once more in the Niwaza. He's determined to get his opponent down there for some reason. It obviously favors the Niwaza. Gandia coming out now.
A lot more energetically.
Little bit more, and lovely guts.
Oh my goodness.
Nice combination there. Lovely gutsy move there. Where did that come from? Well,
you know, actually,
the element of surprise
he
definitely
had this big
there.
spinning thing, but then he immediately transitioned to try to take Hatton's back. You know, it's like he's not really concerned with trying to throw. Gandia is also interested in getting to the newaza. Okay, a much bigger entry by Haddon.
Yeah, the Siotoshi there.
Yeah. "14 seconds left." Haddon definitely have got a bit of an advantage. Taitoshi, and for the Wazari.
Sienagi there.
Yeah. No Wazari? I guess not. I thought for sure Gandia was down enough. And you saw how Gandia was immediately transitioning to, he was trying for Shimewaza even while Haddon was still trying to throw
That
him.
was a good bit of, that was good awareness there from Gandia.
But one thing that has come out in the last couple of days is you are not allowed to choke or to do Kansetsuwaza in Tachiwaza situations.
No.
So, Gandia is really riding the edge there. Wazari. Yep, Wazari for Haddon.
Yes. And rightly so.
Yeah, that was a Wazari.
Rightly so. There was definitely a Wazari. It was a Sienagi. Started off with the Taitoshi, and then he brought the knee in, the hip went through, and the Sienagi was
and
there.
He was flat on his side.
Yeah.
So, get to see a replay. So, through, and then drives him through. Yeah, and see how Gandia is trying to go right to Newaza. So, that was well called, Loretta. You really broke that down right.
Very, very nice.
I mean, you've done that all along, but, that was so quick.
The transition was beautiful, wasn't it?
Your observation of the transition was slick. Okay, back up to the top of the Pool C, and we have Del Orbe Cortoreal versus Toniste.
Del Orbe, the famous man. This one is going to go down in history.
Yeah,
definitely.
with that huge Osorogari.
This young man from the Dominican Republic who took out the number 2 seed, Frank DeWitt, in the first round.
And we've seen that in several weight classes. The other day,
Silva.
Sabalov.
We've seen Silva of Brazil, the Olympic champion who went out.
Yep.
And
then
that was a good win.
And then in the men's division, I have to look it up again. Who got all the way to the quarterfinals after taking out a couple of the upper seeds.
Shmagulov, yes.
Okay. Toniste really, really trying to get to throw Del Orbe Cortoreal, the big Taitoshi, but really not able to bring him over.
Cortoreal really must be on a bit of a high, flying out here with the confidence of what he's just accomplished in the first round.
So this is the same thing he did in the last match. He was very quiet. He was not
understated,
really dynamic.
wasn't he? Really,
yeah,
and he's coming around the back there. The high collar there from the Estonian. Draws his opponent's head down. Looks to try and get a reaction from the Dominican. It's not really getting it as much there. Chigari comes in those hips, which are so dangerous.
Yeah, that was an extreme extension of his arm there, Cortoreal's. There's some guys behind us rooting for USA on mat 3.
Or it's maybe USC is the name of the athlete. I don't know, but
I don't know. Okay. 140 left in the match. 141. Okay, Cortoreal picking up the first Judo for passivity.
1 minute and 41 seconds remaining. We're coming down to the last minute of this contest, but it's a little bit of a deja vu. It's like watching it all over again, isn't it? His first match.
Toniste has a physical similarity to DeWitt.
Very, very similar, isn't it?
But not anything like the same power.
For some
Of course,
feeling,
everybody in this weight class is
Yes.
very strong. Oh, Del Orbe,
Oh.
Corte Real, but I
Has
think
he
it's across
got-
the chin.
is he across
yeah,
the
it's across the chin. Otherwise, it was nice. Otherwise,
If that was connected, well, this man
that
is
kata tejime
definitely...
we've seen so often. It's just become-
Corte really is surprising us all here.
Gales from the U.S. on
Obviously a
that
very
three. Obviously
popular young lady.
locally. Yeah.
Harama Kikome.
Oh,
Wonderful
Toniste
finish.
throwing Corte Real for the Wazari. Big harai. So Corte Real has got to step it up.
USA! 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 USA!
So wonderful to hear U.S. being supported so strongly by other
And
countries.
you thought it was a fan club for you.
No, It's like, I will comment as hard as I can. 23 seconds left. Toniste picking up a Shido. Really
Can
getting a
Corte
deep
really
grip over
come
the
back
back.
from
oh,
this,
it's Sumigai
Sumigaishi?
4 on Wazari. Is that going to be Wazari? No? Let's see. No Wazari.
Well, 12 seconds remaining. Still the Wazari remains.
I thought it would have been Awasaki Pon, but no. Toniste really knowing he can play out the clock here. And Corte Real just not able
Well, a great
to
win.
catch up. So, not the Cinderella story
No.
that we had
Tonis-
seen in a couple of other cases.
No, that's right. Definitely not. But Tonis goes through to the next round, fourth round of this competition. And the Dominican Del Ober Corte Torel out on the third round, but definitely someone we will never forget.
And he can go home with a great story.
Definitely is.
I threw Frankovic for Ippon in the World
Well, it'll
Championships.
definitely be, I think, something that we'll be reading about tomorrow when we look back on the performances overall.
Okay, up next we have Urquiza Solana from Spain versus Svanovicki from Poland.
There's the highlights.
There's that first Wazari. Don't forget to see that.
Harai
Yeah, it's
into the
really nice.
Makikomi.
Harai Makikomi.
Harai Makikomi, a lovely finish there, and the timing was perfect, but not taking anything away from this young man from Dominican. He was a good performer. What a gutsy player.
Well, USA just got thrown for Nippon on mat 3.
Urquiza Solana. Now, from Spain, again, we saw him perform quite well. He had a little bit of a rocky start in his first match.
This is Abdelal from Egypt.
As he works his
Urquiza
way.
Solana trying to get this there was a turn going. At first it was kind of a sankaku, but now he's getting it in. He's got that wrap around with the belt that we saw with the Japanese earlier and for day one. Now he's got that going in. He's not really locked up nearly enough though.
Swanakowski there, as you can see, really trying to get past those legs. It comes up on top now. He's in the driving seat here as he works away. And the athletes in Poland are very, very strong. But he's
Getting
working
his own
nicely
turn.
there. He's got
really
a plan in
threatening this
action,
Jujigatame.
working
If
the
he can
arm
get that
lock.
elbow exposed.
Well, he's trying
And
to
now he's got his own sankaku, much deeper and more effective than Urquiza
that's-
Solana did. Oh, bringing him over.
And-
That's really
Yes, it's on.
It got him to
Oh my
tap
goodness.
because he was so bent. He took that sankaku and really bent Solana's entire head and upper torso down in towards his own chest, and that just really closed off everything
was
to the point where he had to tap.
Very uncomfortable indeed.
Very unusual submission.
Swanowski takes that upon, and some wonderful display of Niwaza.
Yeah. So, Swanowicki from Poland will come through to face Tuniste in the next round. Good to see that again. That's a brutal submission.
Oh, that was really uncomfortable.
See, look how
that
he
was
takes
uncomfortable
it
right from the
forwards.
beginning, as
Yeah,
you could
and
see. It's
and he takes
every
his head.
stage.
We can't see it in this angle, but you
pulling
see
out-
how he's folded in. His head is folded in towards his own torso, and he's just folding him in half at this point. And see how he's bringing the legs in and really curling him up. That's just enormous pressure
That
in that
was
upper body.
Fujiwara here now representing Japan, and for me this is going to be a very interesting. Jallo of France in blue. It was someone that's really impressed me throughout this year.
Oh, he had a beautiful throw in the first round.
Really a nice judo player. Somebody that's definitely grown every time we see him in the World Tour. And someone that's going to be very special in years to come. Still a young athlete, but what potential he has. Not sure if he has the maturity against Fujiwara, but we've just got to wait and see.
Oh, Fujiwara really wanting that Sewanage. Okay, and now here we have this Newaza, again, this twisted belt kind of approach. Really using the hips to try and turn, execute a turn, but Jallo just having none of it. He's just blocking it out. Fujiwara had the easier match of the two in the previous round. So Jallo really had to work against Garashevich from Montenegro, but eventually ended up with a really nice technique.
Very
extremely
strong.
powerful player. So I love this. I love this kind of matchup where you have just extraordinary power, and of course France always has beautiful technique, but you know Japan always has just the emphasis on technical virtuosity. So interesting to see how this will play out.
Jallo, as you can see, the circling action around his opponent, trying to engage with the kumikata. What he wants is that arm over the top, throwing in. He's very, very strong when he does get it, but the physical maturity of his opponent at this moment has been a little bit overwhelming.
Fujiwara had the grip. Oh, Uchigari, and then in for Sewana or Tayatoshi, or maybe Seo Itoshi for the Wazari, and then into the turn. He's just really taking command of this match.
The Koichigaru for the opening, and then through for the Seonagi of Seotoshi finishing, and now finds himself in the receiving end. Jallo really has been punished down into the ground and still finds himself on the receiving end.
Fujiwara saw, okay, yeah, so here we'll see it. This coach, that's Sewanage. Yeah, really pretty. Oh, and see how he's bringing that arm back to keep him on his back.
So
the body awareness and movement awareness of these athletes is just wonderful to watch. But it's not just hauling somebody around and then just throwing them in the air. There's just control that's going on both sides. One person trying to break the control all the way through the entirety of the arc, while the other person is doing these tiny little things to keep it going and make sure that that back comes down or that side comes down, or that you're able to retain control as you go through the roll.
Jallo attempting there. The Oso Tagari was very deep. The Sasai opening there for Fujiwara.
Fujiwara toning it down a little bit now because he's up a Wazari. Ooh, Fujiwara and Jallo picking up the Shido. They're stepping out. Oh,
Yeah,
being waved off.
yeah, didn't think he had that lovely Oso Tagari, which broke up the mode of not being able to get into the hard defences there of Fujiwara, but you just sense that there is a bit of a setup coming up here now. Jallo concentrating so much and trying to get the Seonagi in there.
But he just doesn't have the penetration that he needs to really, really threaten
Well, there is
Fujiwara.
quite a bit here of maturity, physical and experience for the Japanese.
Yeah. But Fujiwara cannot get complacent. There we go.
Beautiful. Good aerial awareness from Jallo. He's doing a bit of a survival out there at this moment.
16 seconds.
He isn't wanting for trying. This is a man that keeps going, and he will right to the end.
Well, he has no choice. He's got to catch Fujiwara because he's up by Iwazari. Fujiwara's up 4 seconds. Fujiwara's going to get penalized now
Fujiwara
here.
will pick up the Shido for a
Shido.
defensive action.
But with
a
2
little
seconds left, it's really not an issue.
Well, a good match there. Jallo, once again, not a disappointment at all. He really gave a great performance. This young man is definitely someone that we will be seeing in the future and on that podium one day. He's got all the attributes to make a world-class athlete.
Still, also an excellent match by Fujiwara. Facing somebody who I think had the edge in strength and power and speed, but he clearly had a very, very calculated and, concerted effort to get a throw, and he really brilliantly set it up with that low ashiwaza and then stepping across for that sewanage. And if he could have made a nippon, he would have, but it was just enough to get the wazari. And then from that point,
Seotoshi there.
Right.
Beautiful Seotoshi.
And then, just bringing him around, even though Jallo had done this amazing thing to turn to the outside. This is like, look at what Jallo does to turn to the outside, posting off his head. But Fujiwara at the end, bringing him over in the opposite direction. My mind is blowing over, what happened there in that split second.
Well, Chuchi here we have representing Belgium, and he's up against Guldurin of Turkey in the blue. And this is the last match in the
Pool C.
For Pool C, so we'll be going down into Pool D on this third round. Winner of this will meet Fujiwara. Which is a daunting thought, isn't it, really, when you look at it? But Chuchi, for me, is a very strong athlete and has, again, delighted us with some of his performances throughout the year.
Well, he certainly did a great job with Denanyo from Togo in his last match. Really drove that from the beginning. Whereas, big Uchimata by Chuchi. Whereas Guldurin, and his match with Nai was a very different prospect, where Nai was coming in, and Guldurin was using Nai's entry to launch his own attacks and eventually get it. So, So Chuchi is clearly not just dictating this match the way he did in the past, but Guldurin is also being more aggressive here than he was in his last match. He's clearly very comfortable with people coming after him, but now he's the one stepping forward. He's the one coming in, and Chuchi's the one backing up.
Deep grip there over the back. Guldurin looking very strong there as he came in for the forward attack. I say a forward attack because it really was in between of what he was trying to attempt there. Right. I wasn't quite clear what he was trying to attempt.
Or something, yeah. He was in an odd position. So, Chuchi picking up the first Shido for not engaging.
Now this time he's set up nicely for the Uchimata if he can get in there, which is his real forte. He's very strong there, but as you can see, Guldurin is very, very powerful.
Yeah, really dry.
Very rigid. Harai Makakomi, beautifully executed there, right on the edge of the contest. Didn't manage to get the full rotation off there, but nevertheless, a very threatening attack.
So that one was interesting. The lower body was Harai, but he was coming in outside the arm like Sode. So again, this kind of combination of techniques being put together. which is what you have to do because everybody knows how to stop conventional techniques. So you've got to be improvisational, and that's part of what makes this so an art. Even in the midst of these, incredible fights, you've got to be creative.
Well, Chuchi, as you can see there, he's got that left hand on the lapel. Isn't the ideal positioning for it to get the Uchimata, which he's looking there for it, but the strength of this young man from Turkey is the block is a little bit too much for him at this moment.
Both players picking up a Shido for
throws the arm over the top. Guldurin really trying to make an impact. Comes through round
really
the back.
Uchimata! Oh, yeah! Chuchi!
Well,
only Wazari, okay.
Guldurin made the mistake. He came round the back instead of staying in the inside and blocking, and he left it wide open for Chuchi to come through for that Uchimata.
And now
he was just waiting for that opportunity.
Having to stop the pin and eating up time on the clock. Oh,
well,
it was an Ippon.
Was
waved
Let's have
off
another
to an
look
Ippon.
at it. See, this time
so
it came over the top rather than on the lapel for the Uchimata.
So Chuchi, he switched off that grip really nicely. He was coming in for Uchimata, and then he brought his arm over the top for this kind of, again, a combination of things. From a straight Uchimata to a Tsuregoshi Uchimata kind of finish.
Well, it'll be a very interesting match a little bit later on. We get Fujiwara from Japan and Chuchi that will be battling away into the next round. So we'll look forward to seeing that one. And here's highlights of that very throw. Beautifully done.
Right to his back. And Guldurin was trying to anchor down and just hold on to it, but just couldn't do it.
Now,
Kalmurzaev from Russia versus Kamza, Didar Kamza from Kazakhstan. Kalmurzaev, current Olympic champion.
And a little bit of a rocky start in the first match, and has warmed against Pacek, which was a challenging match. It wasn't going to be, it was a hurdle that he needed to overcome.
Yeah.
But now we've come into the settling process now. This Olympic champion obviously is he is world class, there's no doubt about it. Beautiful judo when he's able to execute his favorite techniques without too much of a challenge.
And Kamza trying something, but Kalmurzaev just bouncing off of Kalmurzaev. Kamza's just not presenting the kind of threat that we saw from Pacek. But anybody can be thrown.
Sianagi there. The Kazakhstan was in there very deep.
Very deep.
But,
that was...
Kalmuziev really is not flustered at all with that.
I bet she's awake now.
He's just a little bit laid back there. He's not allowing it to fluster him or show any emotions.
No, not at all. But
this man's a very experienced athlete.
You can't take anybody for granted.
But he has to close up shop a little bit on those Sianagis. There's no doubt about it.
And he is doing that. He's got that strong left-hand grip. He's bringing his elbow in and shutting down Kamza's arm, making it impossible for Kamza to really launch an attack from that side. So that's why Kamza keeps bringing his elbow through. As they're fighting to get that
there
second
with
grip.
the hands.
Okay, now he's got two hands.
That's where it's the Ippon Sianagi. He's got from the Ippon Sianagi one side, the Uchimata on the other. A very, very dangerous situation if he can get that sleeve. So if he doesn't get the sleeve, he can switch through for the Sianagi. If he gets the sleeve, the Uchimata's there. So there's some real danger floating around there for Kamza there of Kazakhstan.
Okay, Kalmurzaev switching it up a little bit, getting two lapels. Okay, over the collar and then the lapel on the other side. Kamza really's got to pull things. He's got to start driving things a bit more. He is meeting Kalmurzaev really well, though. I mean, he's not giving an inch. Okay. Very different now. Reaching around the back. Kamza down below. Kalmazayev up high. Little Uchimata. Both players might get called here. Yep. Nope, just one. Okay.
So we're now into the last minute of the competition.
Kamza has a big, deep grip around the back. But Kalmazayev can really threaten even though he's over. Whew, I'm on the edge of my seat.
There's no doubt about it. It's been a very intense match.
Yeah.
There's been a lot to watch and decipher from here. And there, Kalmazayev there drawing Kalmuziev to his knees, and we don't normally see that happening. I can tell you.
When Kamza got both hands like that.
12 seconds remaining in this contest, and it's as the seconds go on, the Kazakhstan grows more and more confident as it comes in. Sianagi there.
At the last moment.
Executed there.
Which is when you want to try. If you throw at that last moment, you can't beat.
Shido piece going into the golden score.
I think Kamza's really had a great match against very powerful opponents. This match of, just... I haven't seen huge techniques, but just this sort of tension. Who's going to get right to the edge? Tip over.
Kalmuziev, as you can see, setting it up. The Uchimata.
Kamza did a brilliant job of riding that.
Did extremely well to battle away off that one.
Because Kalmazayev could have finished that. He was so deep. He was all the way in.
Once more, Kalmuziev gets the grip in the inside. He tries to break up the balance, shows for one way, but we're looking at that sleeve grip again, where the Uchimata shows forward, could switch to the rear. We've seen that before. And the head's getting drawn there, the Uchimata.
But Kamza's brilliant at, again, riding it. He's just able to keep... taking him the other direction! Whoa!
But was it a mate? Not quite sure. We didn't actually see the referee. It was on the edge of the mat. Was there a score?
Oh my goodness. The counter. Did the counter count? There's no score. He's not putting a score on.
And looking at the coach there, neither one of the coaches are not sure. We're all on tenterhook here.
Yeah.
Did that
the referee
count?
Call mate?
Was it a mate? Well, 50 seconds.
He must have called mate. Well,
the crowds have erupted.
Whoa, and the crowd does not like that at all. Brilliant movement by Kamza to counter Kalmazayev's attack.
Well, this shows you the real threat of this young man. Kamza is just coming in. As these minutes have gone on, he has grown and grown in confidence. He knows the one thing that he's dangerous, he can throw. There's no doubt about it. He doesn't have the same physical maturity and possibly the experience, but definitely has the judo skills, the talent that's going to get him through the next round, and it will be just pure judo.
Kalmazayev! Kamza! Switching things up and entering himself gives Kalmazayev the opportunity to counter rather clumsy Koshiwaza.
Well, it was a little bit rocky both sides. It could have fallen both ways, but Kamsa will be desperately disappointed.
But Kamsa did have to attack. He had to do something in order to stay in.
Oh, definitely. There was no doubt about it.
Cheetos,
you cannot take this away from the Russian.
No.
He came in, he bided time. It was rocky at stages, no doubt about it. He was up against a very talented athlete from Kazakhstan.
And you cannot give somebody like Kamazayev, the slightest opening.
That was a wonderful match. That was so
amazing.
Interesting. It kept us on the edge.
Tense.
There was so much to go on. There was so much that every time, every minute that went past, we could see some quality of judo and some very close opportunities.
Oh, and so here we're going to see this brilliant counter by Kamsa. Oh my goodness.
Kamsa went down first. He hit the ground.
He did hit the ground.
But here we have
and
on the
then
shoulder, continued the
brilliant
roll. Beautiful attack.
and by
Good finish.
Kamazayev.
It was quite adamant. It was quite definite that wasn't a score against Kalmuziev on the edge of the mat.
Penalber from Brazil versus Boltobayev from Uzbekistan. We saw in the last match that Penalber really wasn't pushed in his last match, but this is a very different.
Well, Boltobayev is a very strong athlete indeed, and we saw him in his first round. He's built like a wee tank, isn't he? He's solid. He's very grounded in the mat, but he moves so nicely. He's got a lovely flair within his movement. It leaves himself very open to react in very different ways. Can't rush him at all. Look at him. He's very solid. He's got good kumikata. Penalba puts in the first attack. Wants desperately to take control of this match. Boltobayev is just playing a bit of a waiting game at this moment. He's very strong. He throws that arm over the top, engages a bit more to keep the referee from giving him obviously a penalty. Two very strong attacks, throwing that arm over the top, controlling very nicely. Penalba coming in for an attack, but under a little bit more pressure rather than being much more of a setup.
Oh, down. Nice.
Came right underneath.
Combination.
Good block there, though, from Penalba.
Yeah. Oh,
Uchigari.
Kochi, Sewai.
Good combination of techniques.
Yep.
Again, I have a sense of feeling that he's attacking, but he's attacking because he's under a slight pressure.
But Penalber got picked up a Shido, and we didn't see what it was for.
Well, I think it was for that drop. It was clearly a little bit of pressure there. The Ochi, but then he dropped sideways. And
yeah, it's hard
good
to tell.
strong kumikata from Boltobayev. He's controlling very nicely, which the Brazilian will have to be very careful. Kochigari, beautifully done.
Yeah.
That stumbled Boltobayev back over onto his heels, and that was definitely a great attack. Boltobayev takes the sleeve. He wants to throw that arm over the top. He wants to get connection. Gets.
Interesting how we're not seeing the kind of really powerful kumikata dispute that we've seen in some of the others.
Yes.
Both of these players are, getting a grip and, allowing for other grips to come in. And not really working to deny the other grip so much as.
Well, you see again, there was a bit of pressure there. He was under pressure. That arm was coming over the top. The Brazilian dropped to his knees. He did show that arm, but I don't know whether it was a poor arm. I think he was just trying to distract the referee from.
I thought it got caught.
Did it get caught? I wasn't quite sure there. You tend to see the tactics of using a knee or something as an excuse to drop.
I think it really got caught, though. 1 minute already, down to the last minute.
It's last minute now, and it's definitely very open here at the moment. Boltaboyev, you get the feeling, is very powerful and very controlling of this match. There's been some glimmers of hope there from the Brazilian. He's put in a few attacks, but he's been
Boltaboyev is
reacting
just-
rather
right.
than executing and being first and setting them up.
But Boltaboyev is kind of like rooted.
Osota, that was
know,
a nice attack there.
But even so, you could see how Boltaboyev just isn't shaken by it. You know, he had to sprawl, but he wasn't really off balanced.
Boltaboyev once more, very controlling lapel grip. Now he takes the sleeve, draws on that sleeve. The CNA!
Oh!
Well,
that was a bigger one.
That was a nice opportunity there.
And Boltaboyev picking up his second Shido. He's not attacking as frequently as Ronaldo.
Well, Boltaboyev there has the advantage there. Uchimata.
Oh, nice exchange.
Beautiful exchange
Both
there.
players had such potential to throw.
That
And it
was a
just who
nice
was
bit of
gonna
judo
finish
there
it.
from both athletes.
Both of them. Just little shifts in hip position, little shifts in balance. And then Penalber with a
Koichigari.
big effort.
Taitoshi. There it
With
goes.
4 seconds.
4
and
seconds.
into Osakomi.
Boltaboyev takes the
Boltaboyev.
lead and the Osakomi
And
with
Penalber
the
is pad
Kezugatari.
tapping because he knows. Big finish by Boltaboyev in the final seconds of the match.
Well, that'll be an interesting match coming up very shortly with Kalmuziev and Boltaboyev. Well, that will be a little bit of clash of styles because both of them are very, very similar with Uchimatas and the grips. Very strong, mature athletes in this field.
We'll see the replay.
Goal scorer, Tatami 2.
So both have this kind of a wrestling stance, but Boltaboyev in. Just finishes really nicely with this Kezugatame. And Penalber knowing that, hey, that's it, you got it. Time's out. Okay, Russell from Germany versus Morales from Argentina.
Russell of Germany in the white, Morales of Argentina in the blue. Well, both have had good matches up to this third round. Russell, obviously the stronger, I feel, on paper in this competition for this match to go through to the next round.
Ooh, Morales picking up the first Shido. We saw how Russell, despite, you know, in his match against Peter from Czech Republic, all that movement and energy, and Russell was just unflappable.
Yeah. It was a very interesting match, and it was a good, for me, it was a good start from it. It was a tough first match, but it was maybe what Russell needed to get through into this one to prepare him for the physical challenge. And it is a physical, it's not the technical side, it's the physical challenge that he'll be up against with the Argentinian.
And the Argentinian, similarly, is finding Russell difficult to manage. Russell has got this strong anchoring grip on both sides, so he's really got the onus is on him to really get an attack going, whereas Morales is not quite settled. He's got an attack going there, but didn't have the other hand, wasn't, you know, get a little elevation on Russell, but really wasn't going to bring him around. Russell riding it pretty easily.
Yeah. Well, he's just trying to ruffle a few feathers, I think, the Argentinian Morales.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just trying to unsettle him, and
Yep.
there's a bit of an opportunist really at the moment, rather than setting it up and preparing himself for the major attack. Russell is just trying to calm down the situation, trying to take a good kumikata and waiting to hit for the right moment.
Russell working his way
You see
down
him
to a
getting
deep around the back, and
There you have
Uranage
it. He's
really worked his way in, just worked his way up around the back to really draw Morales in for a huge arcing Uranage.
nice. You could see it setting up. The arm was sneakily coming round the back, drawing his opponent up towards him. And then when he got that opportunity of the leverage to lift him back, bump, it was there. Now he'll be looking very closely to the next match, which is going to be Russell's. This is going to be the real challenging match for Russell when he comes to getting into the next round, is against Mookie, I think.
Well,
but he's up against Hatton before that.
Hatton, right.
So this is going to be a match that he's going to watch very, very carefully. But on paper,
Really beautiful, huge elevation. I love it when we see these
look at that.
clinically
leverage.
ideal throws. See, coming in.
Comes round the head.
Morales trying to come in, and Mookie doing exactly the right thing. That's exactly what Uranage is for. When somebody comes in for a big hip throw, and you
bump
drop
onto
and you
the hips.
elevate them up.
Yeah. So this is going to be a very tough match for Hatton of the USA against a very strong seed Mookie
As
of
we saw
Israel.
what Mookie did with Ubari in the last
it was-
match, that was
yes.
just astounding.
Mookie, European champion,
It's clearly Hatton.
very, very strong athlete. Great
Hatton.
performances here this year and build up to the World Championships. Hatton had a great start at the beginning of the year with a result in Alghero. I think it's Agadir.
Gandia from Puerto Rico. Or are you talking about another tournament?
Yeah, I think it was another tournament.
okay.
I'll tell you right now.
Hatton coming in, but Mookie holding him up pretty effectively. Mookie driving in. Hatton, nice little attack there. Taking Mookie's forward movement and turning it into a drop Tayotoshi. But Mookie now being very deliberate, really working on Hatton, driving him down. But you cannot just crush somebody down. You can't just hold them. You have to use it to attack. So, because it keeps them obviously from being able to do anything. So Mookie picks up the first Shido. But
Well, both picking up the
okay,
Shido.
but
Oh, just one picking up the Shido is Hatton.
so the referee was overruled.
That was the technique. That was the competition. Antalya, a bronze medal. Right at the beginning of the year, Grand Prix, which was a good result for this young man.
Nice. So
So it
Mookie-
shows that he's capable of being up there on a podium at a world, in one of the world tournaments
yeah.
technique competitions. So definitely someone you can't write off, but Mookie,
So
a long line
Hatton
of
coming in for the attack,
successes.
but Mookie riding over it and countering for the Wazari. So Hatton is coming in, but Mookie converts it. Nice, and saw how he pushed his shoulder down to ensure that he was going to get the roll and expose Hatton's back. Get that contact. Mookie's just got this really solid left hand. But Hatton doing a great job of fighting him off. Well done. Keeping that attack from really going anywhere. Big scramble. Try and make sure that he doesn't follow up with anything else.
Oh, Mookie's getting a good
Mookie
grip
coming out
in.
underneath.
Yeah, he's getting that
Trying to
grip.
do the lift, but Hatton doing a good job of sprawling out and keeping it from going anywhere. Hatton getting second penalty for passivity.
Well, Mookie just trying to set up the grip. He's not getting a chance to set up quick enough, but there he has now. It was just a little bit of a survival out there for Hatton. He did well to just beat him off all the time, but somewhere along the line he was going to run out of steam. Mookie, it was just a matter of time that Mookie would get that grip that he was hunting for.
I agree. I think Mookie definitely had the edge in experience and power and strategic ability. That was a really good response. Hatton was really driving and trying to do something to take command of the match, and Mookie really took that. And as Hatton was driving in, Mookie came in underneath with a really nice grabber on the torso to do this. Uranage.
We've seen a couple of matches like that, and here's some of the highlights.
Nice.
It came right.
See how he drives he also sweeps the leg. Just really clear. Hatton's going to come over. Mookie's going to drop. He's going to drive up and bring him around. Both hands controlling the shoulders. Really clean.
So now we have Tonist here in the white from Estonia.
So we're back up to Pool C.
Yes, and Shawanowski there in the blue for Poland. And straight away the Estonian in for the attack there, trying to work his way around the legs of Polish athletes. Now both very close neighbouring countries will have battled away, and I'm quite sure on many occasions. Estonian blocking the Sienagi.
Bit of a scramble here.
It's a very even match.
The Sienagi was weird. He was up with the upper body, but his lower body was way out.
As both of them try and size each other up. There's the Ippon Sienagi for the Kochi. A little bit of a glimmer there, trying to fool his opponent into going forward and react to the back, but he didn't really get the reaction he was looking for and just missed out on the opportunity for the Koichi.
Yep. Oh, big Sienagi there.
Good Sienagi.
Svanovicki clearly has he's in the driver's seat here, and so drawing the first Shido from Tunisia. Just got all the attacks. He's driving the grip. But Tunisia's doing a great job of responding and keeping Svanovicki from completing any of these.
Svanovicki on the receiving end there.
Yeah.
Tonist is drawing the head down, controlling that shoulder, but leaves himself open
for the attack.
The Sienagi there, and follows through down into the Niwaza once more, trying to capitalize down there in the ground. He's looking for that arm lock, but there's a lot of movement.
Does a good job of turning the direction.
Comes in. He's got once more.
That was a
lovely nifty move there.
little sankaku, nice. On Svanovicki's part.
And say if he can
try and draw him over.
If he can control that movement, it could be the Osakomi.
Yeah. But stopped by the referee.
Well, once more, some nice little bit of judo there in the Niwaza.
Yeah. And I think Tunisia is taking a breath, because even though it wasn't turned, there's still tremendous pressure. But Sankaku is brutal. Oh. Okay. Svanovicki getting caught there. So, okay. That's why the coach was able to talk, because he was up on his feet.
Swanowski there on the receiving on the high collar grip. Once more drawing on that shoulder, switches it into the lapel. Swanowski keeps working towards the edge. He's Cianagi, but
so that's quite a few attacks by Swanowski. Toniste just hasn't. There we go.
Second Judo now. A bit more pressure changes the dynamics on this contest. Tonisk has to really now work hard and to stay engaged into this contest.
I think that
48 seconds remaining.
He's constantly been on the outside. He's reaching around and he's getting a kind of an easy grip around Svanowicki's back, but he's just never been able to. He can't attack from there. Yeah. Svanowicki is too strong on the inside, and so he's
throws the arm over the top. He's got the reach. Cianagi once more. He walks onto.
But every time he tries, Svanowicki's really able to convert this other kind of attack movement into his own attack.
Well, it's now starting to become what we have now over the past 3 minutes is becoming very predictable in the movements that both these athletes are making. So somewhere along the line, they have to just shake it up a little bit and just think outside the box and do something new that's going to be the ultimate surprise of the change. Now, there was the Ouchigari. He had the Cianagi, there was the stumbling of resistance, and then he switched it to the rear. So that's a slight change of what we've been seeing, where he's been repeating the same movement of the Cianagi all the time. Now we're starting to see more of a combination.
Big Swanowski. No score though on the board, so we're going to be going to golden score. But if Swanowski is able to keep up a couple more attacks, he's just going to have another Shido.
I think Swanowski has got the opportunity here, but if he puts some Renzaku Wozes in, he's got more of a chance, I think.
And I think there's some conditioning issues too. I'm seeing Toniste really starting to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, Toniste is obviously looking. He's the taller of the two athletes, but he looks like he's just stumbling over on the
there
Cianagi.
We go.
And there we have it.
That's it.
Definitely, Cianagis were starting to become much more apparent, and they were getting stronger.
Toniste just wasn't able to hold him off anymore.
Tend to wear him down, didn't he?
Yep. So Swanowski through to the next round. There are a lot of letters in this name.
I know.
And up next, we'll have Fujiwara from Japan versus Chuchi from Belgium.
Chuchi, well, I think this young man could cause a few upsets, but Fujiwara has had some very good, strong contests, and he's looking unformed, there's no doubt about it.
And he's clearly an extremely capable player. He's able to manage the match as well as...
You can never underestimate, and there's some highlights of that last contest. Lovely Cianagi, beautiful finish to what was a very interesting match. Well, the Japanese team overall have been very strong in the past couple of days, haven't they? And so there will be no exceptions. Definitely, you can never underestimate someone that comes from Japan. We know that they have some beautiful judo, and in most of the cases, and it'll be interesting to see how Chuchi.
So Chuchi's done really well. He really threw Golderin really well.
Definitely, he's got a lovely Uchimata as well.
This is a totally different game. I don't think he's going to catch Fujiwara by surprise.
No, I don't think so. But he's got the skills to be able to throw. And if you've got judo, you've got a chance. If you've got some really good, solid skills, anybody's got a chance.
That's true. So, not engaging, both players. But the thing is, Golderin, the way Golderin would come in and attack, it's like a big, it could be an overcommitment. You're not going to see Fujiwara overcommit. You're not going to see him misstep
No, definitely
Chuchi's
not.
going to have to outplay him. And that's a nice little
That's the sort
example.
of- yeah,
That was
nice
good.
attack. Stepped across the Taitoshi, nice move. And like
So
I say,
let's see if he can do it.
he's got nice judo, so
Yeah.
the possibility. Does he?
Little
And this
Ochi.
is where it has the percentages. Does he have
This
the
is a
confidence?
bad place to be. Oh, Fujiwara's got a really good Sasai coming in. You know, Fujiwara just had both hands so securely planted.
And this is where they're very clever. They use their feet like another set of hands as he rotates. Chuchi over.
But
But
Chuchi's doing a
straight
good
away, he's
job.
not going to mess around down there, and I don't blame him. I really don't. That's the last place he needs to be, not on Fujiwara. Very strong controlling. It's the lifeline that he
Fujiwara's got a
has,
hand on
that
both
lapel.
sides. Yeah, both hands on one side. Whoops.
Broken L. There's,
You gotta focus, man.
In blue for Israel, Kimi Sharia. And the white for Austria, Fatri
again, it
So
hasn't
interesting
got-
watching this compared to Fujiwara's last match against Jalo. You know, Chuchi just doesn't bring the power that Jalo had to this exchange.
But
I mean,
there's
he's
been a-
clearly capable. He's a very capable player and everything, but it's just so interesting to see the difference.
There's been a few times though that you've
Ooh.
looked at the grips, and Fujiwara hasn't actually even got two hands on,
Sasai.
and that can always be a danger against someone like Chuchu, who can actually
Will
throw.
surprise you, yeah.
So when it actually comes to battling with the grips, there's very little between these two. There's been glimmers of both sides that they've actually had a bit more of a control and the upper hand. But you always sense the danger more with Fujiwara being able to plant a big attack
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, yeah. And Chuchi's doing a better job of not letting Fujiwara get both hands in so
He's
much. Although there it is. There it is. There it
Tayatoshi,
is.
lovely
Ooh.
combination there. The Kosota stumbling back. Tayatoshi following through the transition into Niwaza, using his feet from underneath, as you can see, trying to hook in at the side of the groin there to rotate him off to the side. But again, Chuchi did very well to defend and get himself out of trouble. But he has got two Shidos now.
Because Fujiwara definitely has the edge in attacks.
Uchigari.
Just like this. Okay. Oh, I'm surprised. I was surprised he didn't take it the other way a little sooner. 3 attacks there. So Fujiwara definitely stepping it up, following that passivity award on Chuchi, or passivity penalty on Chuchi.
Again, Fujiwara showing the referee and as if to say, look, come on, look about the grip.
Yeah.
Have a look at that.
But, Chuchi's, I think he got caught a finger in the
And
eye there.
again, it's that sort of action of going to the referee and telling him how to do his job. This is definitely a competent athlete. Fujiwara is capable of winning this match. He's
Without that
capable
kind of-
throwing in this match. He doesn't need the support of the referee giving him extra percentages.
Nope.
If he focuses on the job in hand, he will win. No doubt about it. He doesn't need those silly things to be happening. And it frustrates me
Does
when
that-
they
does
do
that annoy you?
It does. It frustrates the life out of me. This is somebody that could have buried this man, but he's under a bit of pressure. He's not getting it his own way.
Yeah.
So the dummy's getting spat out a little bit, and he's now looking to the referee saying, are you going to give me a hand here
Yeah.
to dispose of this man that's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
working his pan out to do something?
You should have a talk with Fujiwara afterwards.
Yeah, I should really a pet talk. Get your act together, son. Chuchi really, for me, is playing an absolute blinder here. He's coming in, he's worked to the best of his ability. He has really upset the odds there. A lot of people most probably would have thought this would have been over and done with right in the earlier minutes of the contest.
But we're
it's
down
not.
to the last 17 seconds and no
17,
score.
Yep, 17 seconds, and he's still going strong, and he's still
going
giving it to
strong.
him.
Yep.
And that's what I love about this. This Belgium
Really,
is
really
look
working.
at his
Oh.
just overstretched.
Oh my goodness.
Overstretched himself.
Gave Fujiwara the option.
But
and
you know
it was
what?
just overextended.
full credit to Chuchi. He went for it.
Yeah, he did go for it.
He went and for it. Oso Tagari, he tried, just overstretched himself. But you know what?
And Fujiwara took the advantage. It was a really smart thing to do. He
Do you know what I mean? It is.
drove him down.
For me, it's about having pride. Chuchi had pride. Did he want to go out and Hansel Kamaki? No. He went out. Yes, he got caught for a pawn. Go for it. For me,
that was good.
Great.
That was
Brilliant.
Good. Right?
I've come off the soapbox now.
Okay. So, nice Wazari for Fujiwara to advance to the next round, where he will face Svarovitsky.
And this will be a very interesting one coming up. Looking forward to the next match after we've seen the highlights of this round we've just seen with Fujiwara and Chuchi. And that will be with Kalamuzev of Russia.
So I'm wondering if Fujiwara might have bait him a little bit.
And Baltiev.
Yeah.
Possibly. He most probably teased him with that leg to say, here it is.
And then, look at that. Look at this face.
Yes. Gotcha. Gotcha, he went. Here, take it. Under pressure, he took it.
And then
he went.
took it. And then, look at, oh man. The difference in those two expressions is just amazing. That's like, yeah, he definitely left the leg there.
He teased him with the leg.
Which is brilliant judo. That's terrific judo, where you say, here you go, here, take this.
But Chochi really didn't have much choice, did he?
No, but
Kalamuzev, here with in the white and Boltaboyev for Uzbek. So this will be an interesting match.
Oh! And as we saw, Kalmurzaev, that breakdown was brilliant. They was so close. Kalmurzaev was so close to being countered. But if Hamza had just not landed a little earlier, it would have been. So Kalmurzaev's gotten shaken up, and Boltaboyev has had a great tournament.
I like the way that this is just so open. Both of these are going for the big one. There is no doubt about it. These two guys are going for
toe-to-toe.
10.
It's almost like a boxing, toe-to-toe. They're going to slug it out.
1 for 1 here. This is going to be an element of excitement as he drops underneath there. Kalmuziev really has got a match up against him now. He's going to be tested here. This Olympic champion is going to really have to work if he wants to move in to the next round. And Boltaboyev is the one that could really ruffle his tail here.
Although Muki and wrestle, that's going to be a great match too.
Oh, definitely.
So whoever gets past it, this is a tough. These two brackets,
and
these two pools are really tough.
We're just looking at pool C and
D. There's A and B.
A and B, they're actually been battling like mad out there. There's some excellent. This is just there's such a wide field of expertise here. There's really some wonderful athletes that are fighting here today in this 81 kilo division. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, Boltaboyev picking up the first Shido for defensiveness. Although, I'm not really sure. What was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to do? Okay,
here we
go.
When you look at the clock, it doesn't reflect the amount of action we've seen already.
No.
So we're coming up to halfway. Now, sometimes to see that much action, it'd be 4 minutes.
Right.
We've actually seen it in 1.
Yeah.
Enough that would last 2 matches.
Okay. It's slowing down.
It's like the calm before the storm, and the high collar grip draws the head down.
Boltaboyev's about to get penalized. He ducked his hand under.
And do you know what?
Oh, that was a bad mistake.
Boltaboyev needed to do that because he was going to get launched for the Uchimata if he didn't. That's the thing. He needed to do that. He had no real choice, to be honest, I don't think.
That was bad place to be.
I think the Russian would have actually thrown him for the Uchimata. And he'll come up again. He's trying to control that sleeve, and he knows he needs to. He needs to keep the left sleeve. Boltaboyev trying to work the sleeve. So, so we've still got coming up to the last minute.
Because any moment somebody's going to get a grip and they're going to come in with a big attack. And, it's like all this tension and getting the grip and getting set, and something's going to pop. Like that! Oh, God. They're just kind of standing there, and all of a sudden, bang!
He's got no grip, but he stepped across. He looked as if he was going for the Makikomi.
Oh, my gosh.
And he lost all control.
He just didn't have it. If he'd gotten around the body, Boltaboyev could have lifted there.
Boltaboyev comes round the back.
He's definitely switched up because he doesn't want Kalmers. Coming in the opposite direction.
There's a battle and a half going on between these two. There's
Look
no
at
doubt about it.
Okay.
The control there, but he can't be given to.
I don't think so, because Kalmers was completely in the air.
Yeah, and he didn't have any control. He didn't
control.
actually control that technique.
No.
So there was no score.
22 seconds left.
Boltaboyev, you can see the deep, heavy breathing as he tries to control
this is
himself.
such
It's been very physically challenging between these two
incredibly
athletes.
physical match. I thought I got whacked in the eye there. Okay.
Well, Kamoziev there really, he's the one that's he's following on to him. He
golden
just seems to
score.
be chasing there.
Whoa, the clock already started.
Boltaboyev really is down with 2 Shidos. It's not an ideal situation going into the golden score, but it was that
he's
ducking
gotten the
under the
golden
head,
score.
but he was getting out of trouble.
And he's had some real threats. I don't think this is going to end in 3 Shidos.
No, I think this is going to go in a
Somebody's
big
going to
throw.
get something.
I get the sense that it could be the Russian, because Boltaboyev will have to open
I was
himself
wondering when
up.
somebody would start to attack low and low.
High collar grip once more. Russian coming in. He's got that grip. Boltaboyev won't like that.
There
Yes,
it is.
the Kosottiga.
Yeah,
Beautifully
finally locked it in.
And that's why he ducked his head,
And that's why he
because
ducked his
that's
head,
what
right.
he'll do.
And
there it is.
but he finally got it. But
Eventually
incredible effort by Boltaboyev against Kalmurzaev. Kalmurzaev was just in a battle to get through this match and showed why he's the current Olympic champion. Really, really able to work through Boltaboyev's defense and finally get to the point where he could really compromise the upper body and bring him down. Not elegant technique, but very, very powerful and amazingly craftsmanlike. Very methodical. Bringing him in, reaching up underneath, and then just turning him to the left to bring him down. Two players with incredible, identical styles.
It was the arm that came round the waist and literally the bear hug in, drawn him into his chest, and then driving off the supporting leg.
So that wasn't just who's the better judoka. That was who's the better at this type of judo that we were playing. And we could see that as powerful as Boltaboyev is and as stalwart as he is, Kalmurzaev just had the edge.
Well, this is the biggest hurdle these two athletes are going to get to the next round now. The hurdles are getting higher and higher, and Russell and Muki here fighting away in the 4th round to then whichever will go through to meet up
to again,
Kamuziev.
So much power in this division. And some really beautiful technique in for those. Muki just got whacked.
Cold. Definitely.
He was settled to come in for one kind of match, and Russell just changed it up. Whoa, but no Wazari. Nothing. I want to see the replay of that. Why didn't that get a score?
Definitely an explosive start anyway.
Yeah, an
for
explosive
this.
start anyway, and Muki all of a sudden just cannot take anything for granted here. Muki picking up a Shido. As we've seen, Muki is an incredibly capable, strategic player, able to really switch things up. Obviously very powerful. Russell, who has just been unshakable throughout every match he's had so far, is facing definitely the biggest challenge of the tournament at this point in his pool, his side of the pool. Russell with the much more positive upright posture at the moment. Muki really shutting things down. Really drawing things in, but not, Muki's got to do something with that. He's on the inside now, but he's not really moving, and Russell's got to execute as well. I think both players might get called here. Passivity, yep, both players. So both players. Muki has 2 Shidos. So Russell's 1. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Muki now changing things up a bit. I think he really wanted to slow Russell down. Oh, in for Koshiguruma, but slipping off the head. Russell just not allowing him to get that head at all. Russell working to get conversion in Newaza, but not able to get anything going. Both players, interestingly, won their last matches by Uranage. So they're really good at countering. They were both counters. So not only do they have dangerous attacks, but they're dangerous when attacked. Okay.
Muki,
Being
as you can see,
very
is trying to come
tentative
over the
about getting
top there.
grips. Russell now driving a bit more. Muki not liking that position.
And that left hand high onto the collar as he draws Muki's head down, trying to
Muki's-
get the reaction.
Oh,
Yes, and there's the
beautiful! Ippon! Whoa, that was incredible.
That was nice.
That was
Definitely a
gorgeous.
nice finish.
Russell really broke Muki down and was making him start to react. And then when Muki really tried to open up, Russell pounced. That was just beautifully done. Really making Muki react. We'll see it.
Well,
in the
right from the beginning, Russell came in knowing that he was going to go through to the next round. He took full charge of this contest, and he took every advantage he could against Muki. And you can't take it away. Muki is an exceptional athlete in his own right, but he made him look
really
very
made him
mediocre.
drop, step around,
Whoa,
and then Makikomi. Oh my
Beautiful.
gosh, that was gorgeous. Muki knows Muki's going to step around trying to get the Uranage, but
That's it.
oh, that
was the
just
mistake where Muki made. He tried to get the counter. He came pulled down
Russell
on the
just
sleeve.
used the fact that he was going to do it. He lets him come around. Look at that. And then he does it.
The danger that he
That's
had,
brilliant.
Muki, right at that bit when he decided to go round the back, he ducked under the arm, leaving his arm exposed for the Makikomi, for the wind in.
and look at this beautiful footwork.
That was the mistake he made.
And Russell set it up gorgeously.
Set it up
really,
beautifully
really
there.
beautiful. And Muki's just going, oh man, he got me.
Russell, he is,
And he's like,
and
yep.
a sneaky little wink there.
So,
Well done.
my favorite German expression, ausgezeichnet. Outstanding. Whew.
That was
Some really, really
definitely-
great moments. Oh!
And that's another German that's on mat
Mat 3, we just saw
three.
another German, right? So we're going to take a break a little bit here on mat 1.
And just looking at what we've got at this moment, well, we've got some really strong matches
one more match coming up.
Yes, we've got two
more matches coming up,
including maybe the one of the repechage as well. So we've got a few here that's. Nope, we've got 2 matches.
Yes,
so there's got to be a break, and the reason we're having this pause is because the athletes need at least 10 minutes between matches. So we've got that little pause, and so you can switch through to watch one of the other matches that are in play at the moment, mat 3 and mat 2. And but looking at what we have, we started off with 64 athletes in total in 81s. And we're now down to looking on this. We were covering the C and D, and there's been some highs and lows, hasn't there? One of the biggest lows was De Wit, who was the number 2 seed from the Netherlands, going out on the first round. And that was a massive shock for us all. But we've had great performances such as Chuchi from Belgium and Jallo of France, again another outstanding performer here today, and Boltaboyev, which gave us some real entertainment along the way, and Ungavari and Muki for me, and even down to Jack Hatton that really pressed one or two of these athletes
had
along
a great
the
match
way.
against Muki.
So the depth and quality that we've seen so far are only looking at Pool C and D. So
and
we're only going to see
more. The character of the judo here. So one thing we were talking about before the broadcast today was your observations on how the character of each day has shifted. So I think the character here really reflects the weight class, that we've got, and how the shift between technique and power really moves.
It's starting to move more and more towards the power.
But even within that, in the context of really tremendous power, we're seeing incredibly technical things occur. They're just different from the kinds of technical things
and the tactical sides of it.
Yeah.
The kumikata plays a major part in this. If they've got good, strong kumikata, good, strong controlling grip, they seem to be able to dominate the pace of the contest, which then creates resistance, reaction, and entries. And this is so important, that what we've seen with the combinations and the counters that we've been experienced throughout these matches, there's been it's been close shop a lot of the time, but the grips that have been stronger on one opponent has created an element of opportunity when it comes down to 2 shidos and they've got to do something. Then that opportunity is there, that you change the dynamics, which means you open it up again rather than bringing it tight, and that's when bam, we're either getting it in the golden score or we're getting the counters or combinations coming in. So it's been really interesting.
It's been
really
some
interesting. Nice judo. It's been bringing a lot of excitement in there, and obviously the tension that's with that, not knowing what's going to go, it's beautiful.
So even though it's not the big dynamic, huge, lots of speed and dynamic movement that you see so commonly in the lower weights, we're seeing some matches like Fujiwara versus Jallo, or Kalmirzaev versus Boltaboyev, and Russell versus Muki, where there are these sudden moments of incredible technical execution occurring to make sure that the throw occurs or that the execution is complete. That are just wonderful.
And I'm not saying that they're not throwing for a point. When they do, my goodness, they go with a bang, don't they?
Yeah.
But it has taken that element of sort of building up rather than straight out from the word go.
So here we have Svarnovitsky versus Fujiwara. And this match, I think, is going to be another example of what we've been seeing all day. Really the best of 2 incredibly strong and powerful players, but also capable of real technical excellence.
Definitely.
In the context of this, elevated power at this weight class.
Well, Svarnovitsky, as we've seen on many occasions, his Niwas is very competent down there. But Fujiwara as well has shown us sort of glimmers of what he's capable of doing, and neither one of them are scared to transition into the Niwaza.
Oh, remember what Shvanovitsky did to Ortiza Solana
wrapped up
with
onto
that,
that.
with that reverse
That
Sankaku
was-
and just folding him in half.
Yes, that was phenomenal.
But
and
that
very
would be interesting to
uncomfortable.
see. I mean, would he be willing to go to Newaza against
No,
Fujiwara?
no. Look at the size of his. Look at the size of his neck. For goodness' sake, you're never gonna bend him over there with that neck. Definitely not.
And look at this, Fujiwara bringing him down, bending him over to break him down.
I'm just sort of trying to think of how that would work against Fujiwara with the size of that neck on that man.
Okay, Shvanovitsky drawing the first Shido for false attack. As he dove to the mat in order to avoid Fujiwara's attack.
Well, Fujiwara, as you can see, with that arm, the right arm, the left arm
really
over the top,
he's bringing
drawing his head down. He's
but you've got to do something. You've got to attack. You can't. But Shvanovitsky just made a mistake. He went to his knee.
He just dropped to his knees.
Just dropped to his knee.
Saying that,
I'm amazed he didn't get called there.
I don't think he really had much choice there, because
he was
the
really being
grip,
driven.
where you could see there was it was two high collared grips, and literally the hands almost met for Fujiwara.
Yeah,
that was
pretty
just
high
a draw. Very, very pressurized there.
So that may be the word of the day, is pressure. So if each day might be described in a certain expression, this is the most pressure cooker of the weight classes that we've seen so far. It just gets to be, in the best matches, just you start to get more and more pressure as it builds up between the two players, and then all of a sudden something gets released.
It just blows its top. Oh, nice change of direction there with Fujiwara.
Yeah, but I think Shvanovitsky saw that he called mate, and Fujiwara's back was to the referee. Okay, so Fujiwara being called for holding Shvanovitsky down. You can't just
look at the grip again, very high on the collar. Both hands are very close to each other.
Yeah, he's just being dominated by Fujiwara at this point. Fujiwara
now he comes really under,
and now
rotates
he's got the turn.
him over.
So here we go, Newaza.
He's just got to work the leg out now, which he's starting to do.
Yeah, he's got
with some ease there. The knee needs to come in.
If he can get that leg out, Shvanovitsky's in trouble. Okay, osaikomi.
Good night.
Okay, now Ken Shvanovitsky. Oh, he's in a lot of trouble. That is a very, very strong lock.
Look at the power and the spread of the
Yoko
knees.
Shihogatame variation. He's way up in that upper quarter, but he's got his left hand down, locked in the obi and back. So Shvanovitsky can't turn. Really had locked that up.
So that was a great and a very convincing win there for Fujiwara, who goes into the semi-final of under 81 kilos.
So one thing to observe at this point is that this whole pool just changed in complexion with that huge surprise of Frank de Witt losing that first match.
Yes.
It would have been Frank de Witt probably facing Shvanovitsky, in the couple of rounds ago.
Yeah.
And then, what would have happened if Frank de Witt had been at this point? But so Fujiwara actually.
Shvanovitsky there, he's had a great performance today.
Great, but
his Niwaza for me is most probably one of the best
but do you
in
think
this half.
He would have gotten past Frank de Witt?
Based on what I've seen now and knowing what I've seen with Frank de Witt, they're very, very different athletes. There's no doubt about it, with very different skills. But looking at what he managed to do in Niwaza, Shvanovitsky for me was very impressive.
Do you think he would have done the same thing to Frank de Witt, though? Frank de Witt almost never goes to Newaza.
No, he doesn't. And that's the thing. If he was capable of getting him down, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think he might have been able to do that.
Okay, Kalmuzayev versus Russell. So we saw some marvelous agility and flexibility in Kalmuzayev's play. Let's see, he was able to
Khamzatov, for me, has just got better and better as the stages have gone on. He's never really been overstretched as much. It looks like he's always
Boltaboyev
taken
gave him a
it.
pretty good run.
He did, but
His
then
golden
he
score,
always looked like he was going to get in there,
It was
I think.
Boltaboyev's
Because
match
when
to
you look at the
upset.
two Shidos, why did he get the two Shidos? He got the two Shidos because he's ducked. But and that's the way I looked at it. He was defending, but there was elements that he looked like he was going to throw.
Okay, and Khamzatov is clearly better. Well, not clear. He ended up showing that he was better at that style of judo against
Yes.
Boltaboyev. Russell is bringing
Russell is
a totally different style of judo here. He's not going to do the same things that Boltaboyev did.
I think this is the best I've ever seen Russell this year. This is one, he is definitely on form. He has hit this event in the best condition and the best prepared he can possibly be.
And that match
it's-
where he outplayed Muki,
Oh.
set him up for this. He's
Amazing.
coming into this on a high.
It's been an absolute delight watching wrestle. There's no doubt about it. He's got beautiful judo, but he's been really on form today.
So let's see what he does. Let's see what Khamzatov does against a very different. See, much more open,
Nice
much
judo.
larger movement.
He's got and this is the danger. He can throw.
With
There's
that
no doubt about him.
that Sode Tsurikomigoshi entry to a Sewanage drop. So that's so dangerous. If he weren't controlling Wrestle's right hand,
He's got the grips there.
he
Russell
just exposed
controlling
his
that
whole
sleeve.
side.
Yeah.
Okay, and Wrestle driving Khamzatov into the corner. So even though Russell does that kind of thing, he doesn't hold people there. So here's another great thing to say about today. There hasn't been that kind of edge game that is so. You're frustrated by people who talk to the ref. I am frustrated by people who play the edge game and make people step out and get this penalty for something that they were making the other guy do.
Yes.
So we don't see that today. We've been seeing much more stand up, play in the center of the mat judo.
Stepping right across. He's left his arm free.
Oh my gosh, he went to Khamzatev's game. He almost beat Khamzatov at his own game just now.
Oh, I don't know. I think that was a bit of a 50-50 there. That was someone that says, right, I think I can do that, and thought, oh no, I can't.
I think Khamzatov caught him, and then
was-
Wrestle had to play it, and then he gave him a really good exchange right there.
Khamzatov there, I think, was he started it. He didn't. In the middle
But he
part, he
didn't
lost
finish
it
it.
because
He
he lost a
lost
bit
it
of control.
because
But
Russell
he then
came in and
made
met
sure
him.
he came back into
Oh.
it.
Okay. Oh.
Well, he's come out of his gi, and he thought there might have been a mate there, and then
Yeah, but
realised
there wasn't.
they haven't called it. So
He's lucky Russell didn't just take advantage
Russell,
of that.
yeah, and you know what? I'm surprised he didn't, because
kind of a gentleman.
He was he was too polite there.
He was polite. Okay, Khamzatov really insisting on that upper body coming in play that he wants to do. Oh,
what a
nice
lovely
exchange. Oh, and Russell responding. Oh.
Well, great flurry of attacks there for both athletes, no doubt about it.
Okay. So, Russell, Khamzatov, 40 seconds left in the match.
Khamzatov just trying to get that sleeve grip of Russell, who tries to reach it over the top. That's what we want there. He catches
Khamzatov adjusting his gi a little bit.
and a bit of a block there from Russell. Holds onto the sleeve,
Okay.
controls it once
Russell
more.
insisting on having a much more conventional kind of entry. Just not letting Khamzatov come in and get that sort of really dominating chest-to-chest sort of position that he loves so much, that he's so excellent at. Both men, I think.
Well, do
feeling
you
a
know
bit-
what? That's been
This has been a
physically
hard day.
challenged. It's been a hard day at the office for both of them. Well, do you know what? More for Khamzatov really than Russell. Russell's been really
Yes,
on form.
I agree.
He's been quite explosive, and he's won his matches very clearly. But for the Russian, he's really had to battle away.
Kamarzaev's side of the pool was a little harder,
I think,
facing
definitely.
Kamza to begin with,
Yeah.
Pacek to begin with,
And
then Kamza, and then Boltaboyev.
Boltaboyev was the tough one.
Kamarzaev's had 3 tough matches in a row.
I think Boltaboyev was one that could have really took a little bit out of him in that last match.
But Wrestle, again, remember, he started off against Peter from
I
Czech
think that was
Republic.
the only one that we
was
said.
really tough. Well, Mookie was tough too.
When we spoke at the beginning, I said where these two would get to that point, and that would be the first challenge was for Russell, the first match.
Was
Mookie,
Peter, right.
for me, all the way to there,
Yeah.
but that was going to be the hurdle for both of them.
But I just think, in general, Wrestle, while Kamarzaev has had 3 tough matches, Wrestle's had 2 really tough matches, and then one that wasn't quite as tough against Morales.
Nice combination of techniques there. Russell drops to the ground.
46 seconds into golden score. Wrestle has 2 Shidos.
And he looks like he could get another one if he's
that
not
would
careful.
be such a shame. No Shido.
You don't want to see that because I think both of
and
these,
we've had beautiful finishes in golden
both of them
score.
are capable of finishing this
But I think
contest,
Wrestle's-
no doubt about it.
Wrestle looks a little fatigued to me here. But Kamarzaev is, okay. Getting in close, that head-to-head kind of thing, that Kamarzaev is where he's really comfortable. Wrestle coming in. It's so hard to get Kamarzaev off balance and to get him moving. Both players playing toe-to-toe
Looking
judo.
for the Makikomi there. Russian once again driving forward. Both of them looking totally exhausted, but still enough to give.
Oh, here we go. Oh, my goodness.
This
Wrestle coming in. Coming through. Bring him down. Oh.
No.
Oh, Kamarzaev just turned out.
He did so well to get out of that, but that was very, very
That
close.
was so dangerous.
Russell was so close there.
And beating Kamarzaev
But as
again at that chest-to-chest exchange. So Kamarzaev can't just sit where he likes to be comfortable. Wrestle is really taking him out of his comfort zone. Oh,
so
and
to get
then, he just didn't have the gas.
Well, I think Kamarzaev might pick up a second Shido, which this would bring 2 each.
yeah.
I think it's coming close.
Oh, 2 Shidos apiece.
So 2 minutes now in golden score.
Oh, good.
Kamarzaev really has to start
He
shaking
really
it
has to
up a
step
little
it
bit
up.
now more. If he
Will
wants
he
to
do
stay
it?
through.
Wrestle, he's down for the Kosotogari.
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 Now, Russell,
my
for
brain
me,
is
the
starting to
danger
freeze
Russell
up.
has put some very, very strong attacks that's been very challenging.
Oh, very
when
challenging.
you're so tired to put too many in under extreme
Chigari.
pressure.
Kochigari,
Kamarzaev will be waiting. He will be waiting a little bit here because he knows that he's taken a lot out of himself to stay in.
and Wrestle keeping. He did it! Oh, Wrestle did it! Oh, coming in for that Koshiguruma and then switching to Makikomi, bringing Kamarzaev over for the Wazari.
Brilliant. Well, what I said right at the beginning, Russell, for me, he's had the tournament of a lifetime. He has fought so hard.
Oh man,
It's the best performance I've seen all year from Russell.
That's incredible. What a match. What a match. Not big, expressive judo, but, this incredible pressure cooker kind of situations where, there's so much going on and there's so much happening within the kumikata and within the exchange of positions and where your hip is and where your opponent is and what kind of game you're bringing. What kind of style of play are you bringing to the match? And here we had, this Russian player with everything that Russia brings to the match and this, the German player in German judo really coming in. Oh, from Koshiguruma. Oh my gosh. And switching off to the Makikomi, really finally bringing Kamarzaev down. So Tsurigoshi to Makikomi. Oh, just what a finish. Just such beautiful, and then ending up with this really beautiful classic throw. Tsurigoshi entry to Makikomi finish to bring us back to the mat. Wonderful finish. So, in the quarterfinals, it will be Fujiwara versus Wrestle. And Kalmazayev and Shvanovitsky will fight for bronze versus Chuchi and Chuchi.
And white for the 7th Republic of Iran, Sayed Mollay.
So, Kalmazayev. Muki. Yeah, Muki.
I think so.
Okay. So, that's it for us today in this round of the elimination round.
It's been so far a very exciting day already, and as you can see, there's still two mats that are working extremely hard to get the last thing. But for us, we can say, well, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll continue with the final block, which will start at 4 o'clock today, and that will be with Neil Adams and Mr. Sheldon Franco Rooks that will be your commentators. So from myself, Loretta Cusack-Doyle, and from
Gene Shin.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow for day number 5.
So, vielen Dank. Since it was German, it came out so well.
On tatami 2 for Russia, Judo, David. 72 gold